Chapter 559. 559 In the ancient desolate city. A new Esilavir chakra appeared. The seventh chakra was a seventh-level king-level bloodline. After refining so much blood essence, his 9-dragon bloodline had finally advanced to the 7th level of the king realm. King level 7, the same as Xian Yanqing's bloodline, had already surpassed most of the geniuses in Tianxian region. It was said that the bloodline of the sacred constellation was at least at the 7th level of the king tier. Other than him, no one had ever reached the 7th level of the king tier in the Tianxian region. And NBSP, hoo-hoo. The bloodline of the 9 dragons opened its mouth and sucked, and its devouring power erupted. It was extremely terrifying. My devouring power has doubled. Even late-stage king tiers would be affected if I use it now. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. As expected, the devouring power had greatly increased after his 9-dragon bloodline reached the 7th level of the king tier. I wonder what kind of changes there will be after advancing to a divine bloodline? Lu Ming thought to himself. It was said that divine-level bloodlines had unimaginable power, mysterious and terrifying. Martial artists, after entering the Spirit Sea realm, would have a third chance to awaken their bloodline. In a warrior's life, he had 3 chances to awaken his bloodline. However, not every warrior could awaken their bloodline 3 times. The third bloodline awakening was completely different from the previous 2. It wasn't fixed, but random. It depended on one's comprehension, luck, and talent. Some martial artists awakened at the 1st level of the spiritual ocean tier, some at the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean tier, and some at the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. Some were even in the spirit embryo realm. Most people would never be able to awaken a 3rd bloodline in their lifetime. The probability was frighteningly low. Out of 10,000 warriors who broke through to the Sea of Soul realm, only one would be able to awaken the 3rd bloodline. However, once the 3rd bloodline was awakened, it would be terrifying. This was because those who could break through to the Spirit Sea realm usually had a 2nd bloodline that was at least at the 3rd level of the king tier, or even higher. As for the 3rd bloodline, it was definitely of a higher level than the 2nd bloodline. Some people could even awaken a divine bloodline in one go and soar to the sky. However, Lu Ming had the 9 dragons bloodline. Even if he could not awaken a 3rd bloodline in the future, his 2 types of bloodlines could be promoted to divine-level bloodlines in the future. He was filled with anticipation. Take a look at what's happening outside. Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine. Light flickered on Dandan's body, but she didn't seem to move. Continue to wait. Who's that? At that moment, Lu Ming saw a few light spots flying east from the distant mountain. However, they were too far away for Lu Ming to see them clearly. Let's go east and take a look. Lu Ming grabbed Dandan and headed east. After about 10,000 miles, Lu Ming slowly approached. It is indeed profound fragrance. In the distance, Lu Ming saw more than a dozen corpse guards with dozens of refined corpses. The woman in the middle was Xian Xiang. These corpse guards did not hide in the coffins, as if afraid of causing unnecessary trouble on the way. After all, if a bunch of coffins were to fly, it would definitely alert others. So many experts. Among the dozen corpse guards, Lu Ming could not see through at least 3 of them. They were definitely all king tiers in the upper tier. 3 corpse guards at the level of a king with at least 6 refined corpses at the level of a king. This was not something Lu Ming could fight against. Lu Ming could only follow them from a distance and wait for an opportunity to make a move. But along the way, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect were extremely cautious. Even when they were resting, there would be a corpse guard at the late-stage king level guarding by Xian Xiang's side. Lu Ming could not do it at all. Just like that, more than 10 days passed, and they were getting closer and closer to the east. The ancient desolate city had always been extremely mysterious in the eastern part of the Tianxian region. This was because there was a legend that said that the ancient desolate city did not belong to this world and was not built by the people of this world. Instead, it had descended from the sky in the ancient times. There was a mysterious aura in the ancient desolate city. Other ancient martial art practitioners would not be able to cultivate or increase their cultivation if they entered. Only members of the Xian family could cultivate in the ancient barren city. Therefore, there were no outsiders living in the ancient barren city except for the Xian family. There were not many people in the Xian family of the ancient barren city, but once someone was born, they would all be peerless geniuses. Today, in the meeting hall of the Xian clan, not only were there people from the Xian clan, there were also people from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The palace masters of fire, earth, and thunder were all in the meeting hall of the ancient desolate city. Other than them, there were also some protectors of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. They were all powerful people. Recently, for some unknown reason, more and more people from the Heavenly Corpse sect have been appearing in the eastern part of the Tianxian region. Could it be that the central Tianxian subpalace is already at a disadvantage? The Earth Palace Master said. Especially in the ancient barren city, the Sky Corpse sect's corpse guards keep coming to harass us, so the Palace Master has sent us to assist. I wonder what the purpose of the Sky Corpse sect is? Thunder Palace Master said with a frown. Could it be that the Heavenly Corpse sect's goal is the desolate ancient tomb? A middle-aged man sitting at the head of the table said with a frown. This man was the city lord of the ancient barren city and the head of the Xian family. A young man stood beside him. It was Xian Feng. Desolate ancient tomb. Thunder Palace Master and the others revealed doubtful expressions. According to the ancient records of our Xian family, the ancient barren city descended from another world. Along with it was the tomb of the ancients, where the corpses of unparalleled experts were buried. The ancestors of our Xian family entered the tomb by chance and fused with a drop of blood from one of the corpses, which allowed them to cultivate in the ancient barren city. I suspect that the people from the Heavenly Corpse sect wanted to open the desolate ancient tomb and seize the corpses. The master of the Xian family said. There's really such a thing? The Earth Palace Master, Lightning Palace Master, and the others were dumbfounded. In the past, he had thought that it was just a rumor. Then we must not let the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect succeed. If they really get their hands on that peerless expert's corpse and refine it into a refined corpse, it will be a great catastrophe. The Earth Palace Master said. Don't be afraid. It's not that easy for them to open the desolate ancient tomb. They need 2 keys. Our desolate ancient city only has 1 key. The other one was taken away by another branch of the Xian family 10,000 years ago and left. The city lord of Barren City said. That's good. The few of them heaved a sigh of relief. A few days ago, the Heavenly Corpse sect would occasionally attack us. But these days they have all gone into hiding. I wonder what their purpose is? The Palace Master of Fire said. No matter what their goal is, we just need to set up our defenses. Thunder Palace Master said. After that, the crowd continued to discuss for a while and then dispersed one by one. Only the city lord of Barren City was frowning. Feng, if anything happens, you must escape. Your life is more important, understand? The ancient Barren City lord ordered. Father, Xian Feng wanted to say something but stopped. Remember, the Xian family can't end here. This time, I have a bad feeling. The city lord of Barren City said. For a moment, the hall fell into silence. Chapter 560. 560 The Desolate Ancient Tomb. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. Buzz. Buzz. Early in the morning, a series of air-piercing sounds rang out in the sky. At least 1,000 coffins were flying towards the ancient desolate city from all directions. Not good, the Heavenly Corpse sect has launched an attack. There are so many coffins. Ard. A scream came from within the ancient desolate city and spread throughout the entire city. Prepare to face the enemy. The city lord of Barren City appeared in the sky and ordered loudly. In the ancient desolate city, there were at least thousands of people running. Buzz. Buzz. More than a dozen figures appeared beside the palace master of the ancient barren city. They were the palace master of the Thunder Palace, the palace master of the Fire Palace, and some other experts of the ancient barren city. What's going on? Why did the Heavenly Corpse sect launch an attack today? And why did they send so many people? The palace master of Earth roared, full of doubt. Perhaps the person that the Heavenly Corpse sect has been waiting for has arrived. The city lord of Barren City sighed. What do you mean by the person we're waiting for? Who are they waiting for? Everyone was puzzled. And NBSP, Kaka. Thousands of coffins were opened, and corpse guards appeared in the air with refined corpses. Hee, city lord of Desolation City, hand over the recondite steel heavy sword and let us open the tomb of desolation. We can consider letting you go. An old corpse guard laughed coldly. In your dreams. Besides, even if you get my recondite steel heavy sword, you won't be able to open the catacomb. The city lord of Barren City said. Oh really? Do you think we don't know? We've already done our research. There are 2 keys to the desolate ancient tomb. If we don't have them, would we attack rashly? Bring him up. The old corpse guard waved his hand, and a corpse guard appeared with a beautiful young woman. This woman was Xian Xiang. This is the descendant of the branch that left your Xian family 10,000 years ago. We've already obtained the key. As long as we combine the 2 keys, we'll be able to open the desolate ancient tomb. Hand over your black iron heavy sword. The old corpse guard sneered. The expression of the ancient barren city lord was extremely ugly. You want me to hand it over? Impossible unless I die. The ancient barren city lord roared. You're so stubborn. Since that's the case, kill. The old corpse guard waved his hand, and instantly, the corpse guards that covered the sky and the earth controlled the refined corpses, charging towards the ancient desolate city. A tragic battle instantly broke out. Thousands of guards controlled more than 2,000 refined corpses and launched a frenzied attack on the ancient desolate city. Although the Xian family of the ancient barren city had fewer people, they still had thousands of people. With the addition of the reinforcements from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, they started an intense battle with the Heavenly Corpse sect. Boom! Boom! The Palace Master of Thunder, Palace Master of Fire, Palace Master of Earth, and Palace Master of Desolation City all released extremely powerful auras. They were as dazzling as 4 small suns. With a wave of his hand, dazzling lightning and scorching flames spread in all directions, and dozens of refined corpses were instantly smashed into pieces. Hee, for Lever 9 Martial King Realm. After killing them, I can make 4 more powerful refined corpses. A sneer was heard. Then, 4 figures pounced on Thunder Palace Master and the others. Among the 4 figures, 2 of them were huge demonic beasts. They were demonic corpses, and their bodies emitted extremely powerful auras. 2 of them were human corpses, but they were wearing iron armor and holding long spears. They charged towards Thunder Palace Master and the others. These 2 refined corpses were completely different from the other refined corpses. Thunder Palace Master and the others didn't dare to be careless. They fought with these refined corpses, but for a while, it was only a draw. Ah! From time to time, screams could be heard from all over the ancient desolate city. Someone was being killed. Lu Ming was hiding on a mountain peak outside the ancient barren city. There are so many experts. I didn't expect the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace to have so many hall masters. Adding on the strength of the ancient barren city, there are 8 king tiers at the upper tier. Lu Ming sensed the aura in the distance and pondered. In the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, other than the 3 hall masters, there were 2 other late-stage king tiers. The ancient desolate city itself also had 3 late-stage king tiers. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect had clearly come prepared. They had more than 8 king-level corpse guards, and with the refined corpses they controlled, their strength was clearly above that of the ancient barren city. Given Lu Ming's cultivation level, he would not be of much use if he were to participate. I'll just wait and see. I'll grab the opportunity to save Xuanxiang. Lu Ming made up his mind. He hid there, restrained his aura, and remained motionless. As time passed, the battle became even more intense. In the ancient desolate city, people were constantly killed, and the blood qi filled the entire city. The palace master of Thunder Palace and the other late-stage kings were also under even greater pressure. Other than the 4 refined corpses from before, there were even more refined corpses surrounding them. Instantly, they were completely at a disadvantage. Charge. Let's work together and charge out. Thunder Palace Master roared. No, if we rush out, the others will all die. Also, the desolate ancient tomb cannot be opened. The ancient barren city lord roared. We can't care about that now. If we don't rush out, we'll all die. Thunder Palace Master roared. He was starting to regret taking on this mission. And NBSP, but the ancient barren city lord and the fire palace lord simply refused to listen to him. Damn it. The Thunder Palace Master roared. With a wave of his hand, thunder rolled and struck forward. The 2 refined corpses that were besieging him were forced to retreat. He rushed forward, trying to break out of the siege. You actually fled in the face of battle. The Palace Master of Fire shouted angrily. A bunch of fools, who would be willing to stay here and die. Thunder Palace Master sneered and rushed forward. But, whoosh, whoosh. The iron chains hung in the air and 2 powerful refined corpses appeared, blocking the path of Thunder Palace Master. Behind him, the 2 refined corpses rushed up again. There was no way to retreat. Ah, detestable. Thunder Palace Master roared angrily but was forced back. I've already sent a message to the Palace Master and asked for reinforcements. We just need to hold on for an hour, and the Palace Master will be able to come. The Palace Master of Fire shouted. There's a way. We can retreat to the side of the Tomb of Desolation. Our Xian family has been inscribing inscription formations around the tomb for generations. After so many years, the inscription formations there have become quite powerful. If we retreat there and open the inscription formations, we can definitely hold on for an hour. The city lord of Barren City said. All right, let's do that. The Palace Masters of Fire and Earth both agreed. The Thunder Palace Master helplessly followed them and charged towards the desolate ancient tomb. Gather, gather. We'll retreat and defend the catacomb together. The city lord of the barren city shouted as he retreated. He gathered the remaining members of the Xian family and retreated to the tomb of the barren ancients together. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect was trying their best to stop them. There was killing everywhere, and not many people could shake off their opponents and come to meet up. In the end, only 100 or so people made it to the side of the desolate ancient tomb. Activate the formation. The ancient barren city lord roared, his eyes filled with pain. Once they activated the grand array, then the people from the other parts of the ancient desolate city would only have a dead end. But now they had no choice but to do so. The inscriptions glowed and a light screen appeared in front of the tomb. Chapter 561. 561 Flood Dragon's Corpse. And NBSP, a screen of light appeared, blocking in front of the city lord of Barren City and the others. Boom, boom, boom. The powerful refined corpses kept bombarding the light curtain. The light curtain trembled but was not broken. It was firmly blocked. Damn it, attack! A late-stage king-level corpse guard roared and ordered the other corpse guards to control the refined corpses to attack. However, the inscription formation was extremely strong and couldn't be broken. City Lord of Desolation City, are you really that heartless? Are you going to hide inside and watch your clansmen get killed? An old corpse guard appeared and sneered. Ah! Ah! Around them, there were constant screams from the Xian family. Giggle. The city lord of the barren city clenched his teeth, his eyes filled with tears. Ah, damn it. The other members of the Xian family, such as Xian Feng, who had entered the formation, stared outside with red eyes. Don't kill those Xian family people first. Capture them and bring them here to kill. The old corpse guard ordered. Not long after, the Xian family members were injured one by one and brought to the side of the desolate ancient tomb. "City Lord, save me." Some of the more timid ones started to plead. However, the ancient barren city clenched its fists and did not say anything. It was said that once the desolate ancient tomb was opened, there would be a great disaster. "Kill!" The corpse guard gave the order. Whoosh! Whoosh! The iron chains were like long spears that pierced through the air, killing all the Xian family members. Damn it. Xian Feng and the others roared. However, not long after, another member of the Xian family was brought over and killed on the spot. Not only the Xian family members, but even the palace master of fire and the others were furious. "Open the inscription formation and hand over the recondite steel heavy sword, and we can spare their lives." The corpse guard sneered. "Don't even think about it." The ancient barren city lord roared. His eyes were bloodshot and filled with killing intent. "All right, let's continue." Then, more people from the Xian family were brought in. Father, save me." A loud shout came from a beautiful girl in her 20s. "Min, the city lord of barren city shouted. So this is your daughter. Good. City lord of barren city, I wonder what kind of experience it would be to let you see your daughter and the heroes of my heavenly corpse sect having fun in public? I'm really looking forward to it. I'll leave this beautiful task to you." The old corpse guard pointed at a pale-faced middle-aged corpse guard and said, "Many thanks, elder." The middle-aged corpse guard was ecstatic. His eyes emitted light as he walked towards the beautiful woman. Don't come over." The beautiful woman's face was filled with despair. "Bastard, you damn bastard." The palace master of fire roared. "Min or kill." Xian Feng roared and was about to rush out, but he was pushed back by the city lord of barren city. "Remember, don't let them enter the desolate ancient tomb. Defend the place with the formation and wait for reinforcements." "Shut up," the city lord of barren city shouted at Xian Feng. Then, his eyes turned cold and he rushed out of the formation toward Xian Min. "Father!" Xian Feng roared. You're finally willing to come out? Attack and take him down." The old corpse guard waved his hand, and a few late-stage king tiers controlled the refined corpses to charge at the city lord of the barren city. "Kill!" The ancient barren city lord's entire body emitted a blazing light. The battle sword in his hand slashed down, and that middle-aged corpse guard was cut into two. With a wave of sword chi, a level 7 martial king realm refined corpse was cut in half. The city lord's aura was much stronger than before. A secret technique that burns essence, chi, and spirit. "Do you want to die?" The old corpse guard roared. The burning of essence, chi, and spirit of the city lord of Desolation City was a secret skill of the Xian family. His combat power would increase dramatically, but he would definitely not be able to last for 10 minutes before he died. "Min or follow father? Father will take you out." The city lord of barren city said to the beautiful lady. He held her hand and rushed out. "Stop him!" The old corpse guard roared. Immediately, the experts of the corpse guards made their move. There were 5 refined corpses, equivalent to level 9 martial king realm, and they charged toward the city lord of the barren city. "Get lost!" The ancient barren city lord held his sword with one hand and his aura was shocking. He slashed out with his sword and a shocking sword radiance burst out. A level 9 martial king realm demonic corpse was sent flying and was almost cut in half. The secret skill of burning his essence, chi, and spirit had greatly increased the combat power of the city master of barren city. He was infinitely close to a peak tier king. His sword chi swept across and sent several refined corpses at level 9 martial king realm flying. There were even 7 to 8 corpse guards on the side that were swept by the sword chi and killed. And NBSP, die. The city lord of barren city brought Xian Min and charged out. "Retreat. Let's work together to control the dragon corpse." The old corpse guard roared. "Who?" In the sky, an incomparably huge coffin flew down. This coffin was hundreds of meters long and more than 50 meters wide. It came crashing down on the city lord of the barren city. Break! The ancient barren city master slashed out with his sword, causing the coffin to explode. However, from within the coffin, a huge object emerged. It was 100 meters long and was covered in scales. It had 2 horns on its head and 4 claws under its belly. The corpse of a flood dragon. This was the corpse of a flood dragon. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. At least 10 corpse guards flew onto the flood dragon's corpse, and corpse chi filled the air. These 10 corpse guards were all late-stage king-level corpse guards, and they were controlling the flood dragon corpse together. Roar! Suddenly, the flood dragon's corpse let out a deafening roar. The roar formed a huge storm that rushed toward the city lord of barren city. Not good. The ancient barren city lord's expression changed drastically. He slashed out with his sword, and the dazzling sword chi split the storm apart. However, he also retreated frantically. The flood dragon's body moved. Its 200-meter-long body rushed toward the city lord of barren city and clawed at him. His speed was as fast as lightning. The ancient barren city lord roared in anger and slashed out with a shocking sword. However, it was useless. The sword chi was dispersed by the flood dragon's claw. The flood dragon's claw heavily struck the ancient barren city lord's body. The city lord of the desolate ancient city was sent flying like a cannonball, crashing heavily into the light screen of the great inscription formation in front of the desolate ancient tomb. Fresh blood spurted out from his mouth. As for Xian Min, it went without saying that she was torn into pieces by this attack. How could this be? The city lord of barren city roared. He could not bear it. Father Min. Xian Feng also roared. In the inscription formation, everyone was in despair. The heavenly corpse sect even had the corpse of a flood dragon. From the exchange just now, the flood dragon's corpse was too powerful, and its battle prowess was unparalleled. It was probably infinitesimally close to the spiritual ocean tier. Could this inscription formation block it? The old corpse guard waved his hand and collected a wisp of Xian Min's blood. He sneered, "I have the blood of the Xian family's descendant. All I need is the black iron heavy sword. Continue attacking." The old corpse guard waved his hand. Roar! The flood dragon's corpse continued to attack. And NBSP, the ancient barren city lord, used all his strength to block this attack, but the difference was too great. He was beaten until blood spurted out, and all his bones were broken. He lay on the ground, his aura rapidly weakening. "Get back!" Xian Feng roared and wanted to rush out, but he was stopped by the city lord of the barren city. And NBSP, the old corpse guard, walked to the city lord's side and used his Zhenyuan to take the city lord's storage ring. In the next moment, a black iron heavy sword appeared in his hand. I've got 2 keys. Now, let's attack the inscription formation. The old corpse guard ordered. Chapter 562. 562. The huge heaven gate. The flood dragon's corpse rushed forward and kept bombarding the inscription formation. The inscriptions trembled violently like water waves. Inside, many people revealed looks of fear. Boom! Boom! In less than 10 minutes, the inscription formation let out a terrifying roar and burst into a series of explosions. Then, with a violent shake, the inscription formation collapsed. The inscription formation had been broken. Sigh, it's still useless in the end. The city lord of barren city sighed, and then his life force was extinguished. Gather together and defend. The palace master of fire roared. More than 100 people retreated to a corner and gathered together, staring at the people of the heavenly corpse sect cautiously. At this point, he could only fight to the death. Damn it, am I going to die here today? Thunder Palace Master roared in his heart. He was extremely unwilling. The old corpse guard led a group of experts and profound fragrance to the front of the desolate ancient tomb. They were now in a spacious square in front of the desolate ancient tomb. The desolate ancient tomb was like a magnificent palace. It was 100 meters tall and extremely huge. Surround them first. It won't be too late to kill them after the door of the desolate ancient tomb opens. The old corpse guard ordered. Just in case, if he killed everyone from the Xian family, no one would ask him if anything happened when he opened the desolate ancient tomb. With a wave of his hand, a stream of energy appeared and cut a wound on Xian Xiang's arm. A stream of blood was attracted to the old corpse guard's hand. Xian Xiang cried out as she broke out in a cold sweat. You guys, guard this place and stop them. You guys, follow me to open the desolate ancient tomb. The old corpse guard ordered. He immediately left behind a group of experts, including the flood dragon's corpse. The old corpse guard took some experts and walked towards the desolate ancient tomb. At this time, no one noticed that a figure wearing the black robe of the corpse guards had silently appeared behind the corpse guards. This person was, of course, Lu Ming. He killed a corpse guard, changed into the black robe of the corpse guard, and entered from the back without being discovered by the other corpse guards. Now, the battle in the desolate ancient city was basically over. The Xian family had suffered a crushing defeat. Most of them were dead, and only a few people were left in the square of the desolate ancient tomb. Hee, little girl, be honest. Once the desolate ancient tomb is successfully opened, I'll send you on your way. A level 7 King Realm corpse guard grabbed Xian Xiang's arm and sneered. Xian Xiang's arm was bleeding, and her face was pale. Now! Lu Ming's eyes flashed. A portion of the experts followed the old corpse guard to the desolate ancient tomb. The remaining experts controlled the flood dragon's corpse and glared at the palace master of fire and the rest. There were no experts around Lu Ming. The king who had caught the profound fragrance was the most powerful. Buzz! Lu Ming's figure flashed past a few corpse guards, then he brazenly launched a Gakudo path attack. The spear's gleam turned into a stream of light, cutting through the void like a meteor. It was extremely fast as it struck towards the head of the corpse guard. The corpse guard did not expect that someone would launch a sneak attack from behind. Before he could react, Lu Ming had already pierced through his head and he died on the spot. Who? Lu Ming appeared beside Profound Fragrance. He took a deep breath, pulled the Profound Fragrance, and soared into the sky. Who is it? You're looking for death. At this time, the other corpse guards finally reacted and roared. The chains pierced through Lu Ming. Stay here. A level 9 Martial King Realm corpse guard standing on the head of the flood dragon roared in anger. His body flashed and moved at an unbelievable speed. Before Lu Ming could even use the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps, the corpse guard had already closed in on him. A vast wave of corpse chi was blasted toward Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming thrust his spear with all his might and collided with the corpse chi. However, his body was sent flying back 1,000 meters and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming! It's Lu Ming! At this moment, the Palace Master of Lightning, Palace Master of Fire, and the rest exclaimed in disbelief when they saw Lu Ming's appearance. They did not expect to see Lu Ming here. Moreover, Lu Ming's combat strength was unbelievably strong. With a sneak attack, he had killed a level 7 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard and blocked the attack of a level 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard. Although this level 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard had not used much of his strength in a hurry, it was still terrifying enough. Due to this delay, the refined corpses rushed over from all directions, wanting to surround Lu Ming. Gakudo Path Attack. Lu Ming rushed in a direction where there were no experts. With a Gakudo Path Attack, he sent more than 10 refined corpses and corpse guards flying. You want to leave? Stay. The corpse guard at the level 9 Martial King Realm moved in a flash and chased after Lu Ming. Do it, break out of the encirclement. At this moment, the Palace Master of Fire roared. They erupted and wanted to take this opportunity to break out of the encirclement. You're looking for death. A corpse guard on the flood dragon shouted. They controlled the Flood Dragon's corpse and charged towards Palace Master of Fire and the others. However, a few of the people on the Flood Dragon's back had gone to the desolate ancient tomb, and the Lever 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard had gone after Lu Ming. There were only 5 people left, and it was extremely difficult for them to control the Flood Dragon's corpse, causing its movements to become slower than before. Damn it. The Lever 9 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard could only turn around and fly toward the Flood Dragon's corpse to help control it. Without the pursuit of a phenomenal success King Tier, Lu Ming was unstoppable. He sent dozens of refined corpses flying. Lord Lu Ming, how's my father? Upon seeing Lu Ming, Xian Xiang's eyes lit up and she asked weakly. We'll talk about it later. Lu Ming channeled a stream of essential core to stop Xian Xiang's bleeding and rushed out with all his might. Lu Ming was about to break out of the siege. Boom! At this moment, a violent explosion was heard from the direction of the desolate ancient tomb. Boom! 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 Following that, violent rumbles continued to ring out. The entire ancient desolate city was shaking violently. The next moment, a bright beam of light shot up from the side of the desolate ancient tomb into the sky, straight into the clouds. Who's that? At that moment, a scene that left everyone dumbfounded appeared. After the light pillar dispersed, a huge stone door suddenly appeared between heaven and earth. The stone door was so huge that it reached into the clouds. From the stone door, there was a vast and endless power of heaven's might. Heaven's Gate, Heaven's Gate. Lu Ming exclaimed in shock. This huge stone gate was very similar to the Heaven Gate that Lu Ming had encountered at the waters of the Thousand River. Even the aura was almost exactly the same. However, the stone gate in front of him was extremely huge. It was many times larger than the sky gate he had seen at the Thousand River area. How did this happen? How could there be such a huge heavenly gate here? And NBSP, hoo-hoo. At this moment, a terrifying attractive force erupted from the sky gate. Not good, I'm about to be sucked in. Lu Ming was shocked. He realized that he could not rush out anymore. In the sky gate, there was a strong suction force acting on him. He was not the only one. Everyone else in the ancient barren city was the same. They were all attracted by this force and slowly flew towards the sky gate. Chapter 563. 563 The World Inside the Heaven's Gate. Not good. The Thunder Palace Master, the Fire Palace Master, and the others also tried to rush out, but it was useless. They couldn't get out at all. They were attracted by the sky gate and slowly flew toward it. Roar! The experts of the Heavenly Corpse sect tried to control the Flood Dragon's corpse to fly out, but it was useless and ineffective. It was also attracted by the sky gate. This time, not only did the Heaven's Gate not erupt with any treasures, but it was also going to suck them in. Boom! 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 At this moment, the ancient desolate city started to shake violently. Everyone was shocked to find that the ancient barren city had actually left the ground and was also flying toward the Heavenly Gate. The entire ancient desolate city was about to be sucked away. It was too shocking. How could this be? How did this happen? At the entrance of the desolate ancient tomb, the old corpse guard screamed repeatedly. They had just opened the door of the desolate ancient tomb, and this scene had appeared. It was completely different from the rumors. However, no matter how much they struggled, it was useless. They continued to approach the sky gate. Who? All of a sudden, the gravitational force in the sky gate exploded violently and instantly increased by dozens of times. Lu Ming felt an irresistible force pulling him toward the Heaven's Gate. On the side, profound fragrance also followed. Everyone, including the entire city of desolation, flew toward the Heaven Gate at top speed. Buzz! When Lu Ming flew into the sky gate, he felt that the world was spinning. His vision turned black and he did not know anything. He seemed to be drifting in the endless darkness. After an unknown period of time, Lu Ming woke up and a ray of sunlight pierced his eyes. Not good. Lu Ming got up abruptly and realized that he was lying in a forest. Where is this place? Lu Ming hurriedly looked around. There was no one in the surroundings, and profound fragrance was not by his side. All around him were huge ancient trees. However, the ancient trees around him were simply too huge. The 1,000-year-old trees he had seen before were nothing compared to the trees in front of him. Here, any random ancient tree had a diameter of more than 10 meters. They were incomparably huge and shot straight into the sky, covering the sun. What is this place? Could it be the world inside the Heaven Gate? Lu Ming pondered. What dense spiritual qi of heaven and earth. Lu Ming realized that the heaven and earth spirit qi here was extremely rich. Even if it was not as rich as Tianxian City, it was not much different. One must know that Tianxian City was built on top of a super large spiritual eye. I don't care anymore, let's go find Xian Xiang and the others. Lu Ming rose into the air and observed his surroundings. At a glance, there were ancient trees like this all around, extending to the end of the sky. Lu Ming randomly chose a direction and flew forward. Gah! Lu Ming had not even flown 100 miles when he let out a shrill cry. Above him, a huge wave of demonic qi pressed down on Lu Ming. A huge bird pounced at him. What a big bird! Lu Ming looked up and was shocked. The huge bird's wingspan was at least 50 meters wide. Its huge claws, which were emitting a metallic luster, were grabbing at Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. The wind and thunder spear appeared and he used all his strength to strike the giant bird's claw. Clang! The sound of metal clashing rang out. Sparks flew in all directions at the point of collision between the wind-lightning spear and the giant claw. Lu Ming felt a force as heavy as a mountain surging towards him. His body could not help but fall rapidly. Who? Lu Ming's toes stepped on a branch. A huge force was directed from his toes to the big tree below. Bang! The big tree exploded, and broken wood pieces flew everywhere. This big bird is so powerful. Lu Ming could sense that the bird's level was only equivalent to a peak level 6 martial king, but its explosive power was not any weaker than his. Could this be a mutant with the bloodline of an ancient divine beast or ferocious beast? Lu Ming's expression changed. Many demonic beasts had the bloodlines of ancient divine beasts and ferocious beasts. They were extremely powerful and far stronger than demonic beasts of the same level. For example, flood dragons were a typical example. They had the bloodline of true dragons and were extremely powerful. Any random flood dragon had the strength of a martial king. The strong ones were even more terrifying. Gah! The giant bird seemed to be angry that it did not manage to kill Lu Ming with one blow. It screeched and flapped its wings, causing a hurricane to sweep over and pounce on Lu Ming again. You're looking for death, Gakudo path attack. Whoosh! The spear radiance pierced through the void and headed toward the giant bird. Boom! With a loud boom, blood splattered everywhere. The spear pierced through one of the giant bird's feet. The giant bird was in pain and let out an angry screech. It flapped its wings rapidly and flew into the distance. It had actually escaped. This giant bird is definitely a mutant. It's really powerful. It's only at level 6 martial king realm, but it's only slightly injured by my Gakudo attack. Lu Ming sighed. Previously, no one below the level of a king tier could withstand Lu Ming's extreme path attack. They were all killed by this attack. This giant bird, on the other hand, only suffered minor injuries. Just as Lu Ming was pondering, a shocking scene appeared. Whoosh! From the forest below the giant bird, 2 extremely large tentacles suddenly stretched out and wrapped around the giant bird. The giant bird screamed in fear, but it was useless. It was pulled down, and the next moment, the cry stopped. What kind of monster is this? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Roar! Before Lu Ming could calm down, a deafening roar was heard from afar. Then, Lu Ming saw a black dot that was rushing toward them. The black dot rapidly enlarged. It was actually an incomparably huge giant ape. The giant ape was definitely over 200 meters tall, like a mountain. Boom! The giant ape stomped on the ground, causing the earth to shake in a terrifying manner. Waves of air rolled in all directions, and ancient trees exploded one after another, splattering wood fragments everywhere. The giant ape grabbed with both hands and pulled out a giant octopus from the forest. It was obvious that this was the octopus that had killed the giant bird. He squeezed the octopus to death, then opened his mouth and bit off one of its tentacles. He chewed a few times and swallowed it. Roar! The giant ape let out a deafening roar and stomped on the ground, causing the earth to rumble. The giant ape's body shot into the distance like a cannonball, turning into a black dot and disappearing. Nest, what the hell is this place? Lu Ming restrained his aura and hid between the branches of a big tree in the distance. He was drenched in cold sweat. That giant ape from before was too powerful, and was infinitely close to the spiritual ocean tier. He had even reached the spirit sea realm. With such power, he was already the peak overlord in the Tianxian region. It seems like I should keep a low profile in this place. Otherwise, I won't even know how I died. Lu Ming landed on the ground and concealed his aura. He chose a direction and ran carefully. Flying in the sky, wasn't that courting death? If they were discovered by a powerful demonic beast, they wouldn't even be enough to fill the gaps between their teeth. As expected, there were countless powerful demonic beasts living in this land. After traveling for about 1,000 miles, Lu Ming encountered more than a dozen powerful demonic beasts. None of them were below the rank of a martial king. There were two that were not weaker than the giant ape from before. That's an intent crystal pit? Suddenly, Lu Ming stopped. There was a strong intent realm of heaven and earth in front of him. Lu Ming realized that it was a profound meaning crystal pit. Chapter 564. 564 The Mastermind Behind the Scenes, Crisis. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He did not expect to find esoteric crystals in this place. Judging from the intent and aura, it should be a water-type profound meaning crystal. Lu Ming had no use for it, but he could exchange it. Without a word, Lu Ming picked up a saber and started digging. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, his digging speed was very fast. In just half an hour he had dug out a huge pit and obtained 30 water-type profound meaning crystals. Of course, they were all low-grade. There were no middle-grade ones, but Lu Ming was already very satisfied. It was just a pit of ultimacy crystals. It was already very good to have 30 ultimacy crystals. Could this be a dimension that no one has ever been to before, just like the scaled demon dimension? Lu Ming guessed in his heart. Then, Lu Ming continued to move forward. Of course, they didn't go very fast. They were afraid that they would be done for if they entered the territory of a powerful demonic beast. However, after a few hundred miles, Lu Ming stopped again because he had discovered another pit of ultimacy crystals. It was only a few hundred miles and there was another pit of ultimacy crystals. Lu Ming was rather shocked. Moreover, this ultimacy crystal pit was a wind-type ultimacy crystal. Lu Ming had a use for it. He did not think too much and started digging. And NBSP, this time, he had dug out 29 wind intent crystals. After keeping it, Lu Ming continued to move forward. Lu Ming was shocked for the rest of the journey. There were many ultimacy crystals in this forest. He sprinted for around 10,000 miles and came across a total of 9 intent crystal pits. There were wind, fire, lightning, earth, and so on. There were a total of 7 attributes, and he had obtained over 200 different intent crystals. This is a holy land. How many intent crystals can we dig out if we turn this place upside down? Lu Ming's eyes were shining. However, Lu Ming discovered a problem. There were not many spiritual herbs in this place. He saw a few stalks of spiritual herbs occasionally. They were all level 1 or 2. The high-level spiritual herbs seemed to have been picked. But there's an intent crystal pit. At this moment, Lu Ming discovered another ultimacy crystal pit. Just as Lu Ming was about to dig, he felt a strong sense of danger. The hair on his body stood on end. There was danger. Without thinking, Lu Ming flew to the sky and landed on a branch of a big tree. Bang! A beam of sword aura flashed past and a bottomless sword hole appeared where Lu Ming had been standing. Little bastard, your reaction is quite fast. With a sneer, the figure of an old man appeared. Old man, it's you? Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. This old man was the master of the Thunder Palace. What's wrong? I'm surprised to see you. Let's see who will save you today. A cold, killing intent flashed in the eyes of Thunder Palace Master. You think you can kill me? Lu Ming sneered. Hee, Lu Ming, I have to admit that you're indeed very lucky. You were ambushed by the Heavenly Corpse sect along the way. Everyone else died, but you're still alive. I thought you were dead a long time ago. Thunder Palace Master laughed coldly. Were you the one who informed the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming asked. That's right, it's me. Lu Ming had never expected that the Palace Master of the Thunder Palace would actually admit to it. Boom! Lu Ming's body exploded with a strong killing intent. His voice was extremely cold as he said, Old man, I didn't expect it to really be you. When he asked that question earlier, it was just a casual and probing question. He had not expected that it would really be the Thunder Palace Master. He had always thought that it was the Sheng family who had attacked the Heavenly Corpse sect. That's right, it's me. I was the one who leaked your information to the Heavenly Corpse sect. Look at me, I've found dozens of people to be buried with you. Unfortunately, you don't appreciate it. However, it's the same as sending you down now. The Thunder Palace Master sneered. Old man, I will kill you. Lu Ming's killing intent soared. In order to kill him, this old fellow was actually willing to sacrifice so many Ditian Divine Guards' lives. He was simply insane. Kill me. In your dreams. The Thunder Palace Master shouted, and his Level 9 Martial King Realm aura burst out. With a wave of his hand, a sword of thunder formed in his hand. Dandan, smash. Lu Ming patted Dandan. Buzz. Dandan flew out and smashed towards Thunder Palace Master. Thunder Palace Master's eyes widened, and a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm shot toward Dandan. However, it was of no use. It rushed past and continued to smash towards Thunder Palace Master's face. Thunder Palace Master's expression changed slightly. He retreated and slapped out. This palm was too fast, and Dandan couldn't avoid it. She was hit and flew far away. What's the use of unorthodox methods? Thunder Palace Master shouted coldly. Lu Ming sighed. The cultivation level of the Palace Master of the Thunder Palace was too high. Even a surprise attack was useless. Without any hesitation, he turned around and used the 9 Dragons' heaven-treading steps to run away. Right now, he was still not a match for the Thunder Palace Master, so he could only retreat first. If you want to leave, then stay. The Thunder Palace Master bellowed in anger. He moved and shot towards Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. His speed was so fast that he was not slower than Lu Ming. A lightning sword slashed at Lu Ming. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming thrust his spear and a 3-colored True Dragon flew out, pouncing at the lightning sword. The sword of lightning pierced through the 3-colored War Dragon, crushing it in an instant. The sword of lightning did not stop and continued to shoot toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression was grave as he blocked the attack with his long spear. Clang! With a loud boom, Lu Ming's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He crashed heavily into the ground, creating a deep pit. Lu Ming coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. His body was injured. If it were not for the fact that Lu Ming had already comprehended the thunder mentality and cultivated it to the late stage of level 1 lower tier, which offset a part of the power of lightning, this move alone would have severely injured Lu Ming. Level 9 Martial King Realm. You're indeed powerful. I can't fight you now. Let's go. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming rushed out of the crater and ran forward with the 9 Dragons' heaven-treading steps. I told you, you can't escape. Thunder Palace Master's voice was cold as he chased after Lu Ming. The thunder concept that the Thunder Palace master had comprehended was too fast. Lu Ming could not escape at all. Boom! Lu Ming and the Thunder Palace master exchanged a blow. This time, it was even worse. Smoke was coming out of his body and he was almost burnt to ashes. His body seemed to be splitting apart. Lu Ming rushed out of the huge pit and coughed up a large amount of blood. He looked at the Thunder Palace master with a murderous look. "Run, why aren't you running? Let's see where you can run to. Today, you will die." The master of Thunder Palace walked over step by step, looking extremely cold. "It's still not certain who will die today." Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness, and the power of thunder exuded from between his eyebrows. He was going to control the lightning cauldron and launch a fatal attack on the Lightning Palace master. After using the lightning cauldron, he would definitely fall into a weakened state. This place could be said to be extremely dangerous, but at this point he had no other choice. Buzz! Dandan flew back and glowed beside Lu Ming. The master of the Thunder Palace frowned. For some reason, he felt a dangerous aura from Lu Ming. Chapter 565. 565 The Power Upanishad Crystal Vein. What's going on? This little bastard is only a level 4 martial king. No matter how talented he is, he can't pose a threat to me. How can he make me feel threatened? Could it be that he has some sort of treasure on him? Thunder Palace master's mind turned quickly, and his eyes became vigilant. This little bastard must be killed today. His talent is too amazing. If this continues, I'm afraid I'll be the one who dies the next time we meet. Thunder Palace master's eyes turned cold, and he was about to make his move. Roar! Roar! At this moment, 2 earth-shaking roars sounded, and the earth trembled violently. An ocean-like pressure suddenly pressed down. What's going on? Thunder Palace master's expression changed drastically. Not good. Lu Ming's heart trembled. Boom! Suddenly, dust and wind filled the air. 2 huge creatures appeared not far away and were in the middle of a frenzied battle. It was a huge black tiger. It was definitely more than 100 meters tall and 300 to 400 meters long. It was like a small mountain. It was fighting with a giant ape that looked very similar to the one Lu Ming had seen before. It was extremely tall. The 2 giant beasts fought wildly, rolling over and over as they rolled toward Lu Ming and the rest at top speed. Thunder Palace master's expression changed drastically, and he turned to run. Lu Ming was the same. They had just run 1,000 meters when the place where they had been fighting was crushed by 2 giant beasts. The ancient trees were broken, and the place was in a mess. The strong wind swept and almost blew Lu Ming away. Lu Ming cast the concept of wind and ran with the help of the power of the strong wind. His speed was even faster. The master of Thunder Palace could not care about killing Lu Ming now. Escaping was more important. The 2 giant beasts were too terrifying. Thunder Palace master had no doubt that if he was hit by the palm, he would definitely die. The 2 of them ran for their lives. Oh! The battle between the 2 giant beasts shocked the other demonic beasts, and they also ran for their lives. The mountain forest was in chaos. Bang bang bang. A woolly mammoth that was tens of meters tall ran past Lu Ming and almost trampled him flat. This woolly mammoth definitely had the strength of a peak-tier king. This is a good opportunity. The 9 dragons used the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps, and in a flash, they grabbed the long fur on the mammoth's tail and climbed into the long fur inside the tail to hide. The long fur on the mammoth's tail was 7 to 8 meters long. Lu Ming could not be seen at all as he hid inside. The 2 giant beasts continued to fight, rolling and rolling, without a fixed direction. Not long after, Lu Ming heard that the roar was getting further and further away from the mammoth. In the distance, the Thunder Palace master's eyes swept across the area, and he was extremely gloomy. That little bastard ran away again. Thunder Palace master snorted coldly, then left carefully. Lu Ming did not know how much time had passed. He estimated that he had run at least tens of thousands of miles. At this moment, the mammoth's speed slowed down. Lu Ming restrained his aura and slipped down from the long mammoth's tail. Could it be that we're almost out of the forest? Lu Ming realized that the trees around him were much smaller and not as huge as the previous one. Lu Ming followed one direction and advanced for thousands of miles. He realized that they had indeed left the forest. In front of them were mountain peaks and mountain ranges. The mountain forest from before was relatively flat, and there were almost no mountains. However, there were only mountain peaks ahead. What is this place? Other than demonic beasts, there's not a single person here. I don't see any other races either. Lu Ming frowned. He then retracted his aura and ran toward the mountains. Fortunately, Lu Ming did not encounter any powerful demonic beasts on these mountains. If there were, they were rather weak. Could it be that all the powerful demonic beasts are in that forest? Lu Ming relaxed slightly. He then flew high into the sky and sped up. Wait, what's that? Suddenly, Lu Ming stopped and flew back, landing on a small mountain peak. This is Power Upanishad Crystal Vein? Lu Ming sensed it carefully and realized that the mountain peak was exuding a strong aura. Moreover, it was the aura of wind concept. This was actually a wind-type intent crystal mine. Lu Ming was overjoyed. There would be at least several hundred pieces of intent crystals in the intent crystal vein, and there might even be mid-grade intent crystals. Most importantly, they were wind-type esoteric crystals. With these crystals, Lu Ming's concept of wind would improve rapidly. Digging. Lu Ming started to dig crazily. 3 hours later, the entire small mountain peak had been excavated by Lu Ming. The harvest was rich. There were a total of 330 low-grade wind attribute intent crystals. Most importantly, there were 2 mid-grade wind attribute intent crystals. A total of 2 middle-grade wind attribute intent crystals. I'm rich. Lu Ming wanted to burst out laughing. This place is full of treasures. Keep searching. See if there are any other Power Upanishad crystal veins. Lu Ming started to search around frantically. Indeed, there were no more powerful demonic beasts on this piece of land. Lu Ming increased his speed. Soon, he discovered a small profound meaning crystal mine tens of thousands of miles away. It's another intent crystal vein. Previously in that forest, it was a pit of intent crystals. Now, it's an intent crystal vein. We're rich, we're rich. Lu Ming was in an extremely good mood. He was initially a little depressed because he had entered this inexplicable place. However, all his depression was swept away at this moment. This esoteric crystal vein was a gold attribute esoteric crystal vein. In the end, Lu Ming had excavated more than 400 gold attribute esoteric crystals and 2 mid-grade gold attribute esoteric crystals. Continue. Lu Ming could not stop at all. Half an hour later, Lu Ming stopped on a mountain peak and frowned slightly. The mountain below had been completely excavated. From the faint intent realm aura that permeated the air, it must be a small Power Upanishad crystal mine. But it was discovered by others. I wonder if they're from the Heavenly Corpse sect. This time, the majority of the people who had entered were from the Heavenly Corpse sect. It seems like I have to be more careful. Lu Ming's figure moved and he left the place. An hour later, he stopped in front of a mountain peak and revealed a look of ecstasy. This mountain was suffused with the lightning intent of powerful lightning, and it was a lightning-type intent crystal mine. It just so happened that Lu Ming had a use for the thunder-type esoteric crystals. Buzz. Buzz. Lu Ming started to dig. We're so lucky. Another Power Upanishad crystal lode. We're going to be rich this time. Lu Ming had not dug twice when a cold and dry voice was heard. Who? 2 coffins flew over, and 6 figures walked out of them. 2 corpse guards and 6 refined corpses. Their bodies exuded a powerful aura. Late-stage king tears. They're all late-stage king tears. Lu Ming's expression changed. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had sent about a dozen king tiers of the upper tier into this place. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming had encountered two of them. "Brat, you're from the Xian family, and you're also from the Ditian Divine Guard. It's your bad luck to have run into us. Hand over your storage ring obediently, and we'll leave your corpse intact." One of the corpse guards sneered. Chapter 566. 566 Crazy Breakthrough. "If you have the ability, come and get it yourself," Lu Ming said coldly. "Brat, you're overestimating yourself. I'll kill you first," a corpse guard coldly shouted. Then, a refined corpse pounced on Lu Ming. And NBSP, whoosh, whoosh. 7 to 8 iron chains swept toward Lu Ming like venomous snakes. Lu Ming's long spear swept out and collided with the iron chain. His body was sent flying backward. This won't do. Although these two corpse guards are both at level 7 Martial King realm, there's still king tiers in the upper tier. I'm not their match yet. I can only retreat first. No matter how unwilling he was, the fat meat in his mouth was about to disappear. He had no choice. His strength was inferior to others. Lu Ming turned around and cast the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps. In a few flashes he was far away. The two corpse guards were somewhat dazed, unable to catch up at all. "This kid is quite fast." A corpse guard was somewhat unwilling. "Forget it, let's not care about him. Let's dig up the intent crystals first. This place is truly a peerless treasure ground. I've never heard of a place like this before. If we can bring these intent crystals out this time, we'll be rich." The other corpse guard's eyes lit up. He immediately controlled the refined corpse and began to dig. Lu Ming flew for thousands of miles and stopped at a hidden place. "Looks like I'll have to increase my strength first. Otherwise, I won't be a match for these late-stage king tiers. Only by increasing our strength can we obtain more resources. Sky Corpse Sect, Thunder Palace Master, just you wait." With a single thought, Lu Ming entered the Supreme Shrine. With a wave of his hand, a pile of wind attribute intent crystals appeared on the side. Now, as long as the wind attribute esoteric crystal was upgraded to level 1 lower tier, Lu Ming's cultivation could continue to increase rapidly. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and a middle-grade wind-type esoteric crystal appeared in his hand. Lu Ming had to start with middle-grade profound meaning crystals. Placing the path understanding ancient tree by his side, Lu Ming entered a state of emptiness. Then he clenched the intent crystal. Bang! The wind element middle-grade profound meaning crystal shattered. Strands of extremely strong intent realm emerged and surrounded Lu Ming. Lu Ming closed his eyes and started to comprehend. The effects of middle-grade intent crystals were astonishing. 2 days later, Lu Ming had broken through the wind concept to level 1 lower tier. However, the effects of the esoteric crystals were still there. Lu Ming continued to cultivate. In a flash, 3 days had passed. His wind mentality had reached the middle stage of level 1 lower tier. The effect of the mid-tier profound meaning silk thread finally disappeared. Then, Lu Ming took out low-grade profound meaning crystals and continued to comprehend. The effect of comprehending in the Supreme Shrine was slightly worse than in Tianxian City. After half a month, he had used up all 300 wind-type profound meaning crystals. His wind concept had just broken through to the peak of level 1 lower tier. It was only 1 step away from level 1 upper class, which was equivalent to the concept of fire. Who? Lu Ming opened his eyes and let out a breath of turbid air. Now, my wind and fire mentality is only 1 step away from level 1 upper tier, and my thunder mentality has reached the late stage of level 1 lower tier. It won't affect my cultivation anymore. I'll start to improve my cultivation. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. With a wave of his hand, 50,000 top-grade spirit crystals appeared and exploded. The bloodline of the 9 dragons devoured them and refined them into vital essence. The 3 concepts were almost at an equilibrium. Indeed, there was no more resistance. Lu Ming's cultivation level began to increase rapidly. However, after reaching the level 4 Martial King realm, the amount of spiritual crystals required to improve one's cultivation was terrifying. From the early stage of the Lever 4 Martial King realm to the middle stage, it had taken 200,000 spiritual crystals, which was a terrifying amount. A small level would cost 200,000. After refining 600,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals, Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through to the peak of the 4th level Dao Martial King realm. Then he refined another 500,000 pieces of top-grade spiritual crystals. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through to the early stage of the 5th level Martial King realm. After refining 1 million pieces of top-grade spirit crystals, Lu Ming's cultivation level had only increased by 1 level. If it were anyone else, they would not be able to afford it. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm. He continued to take out top-grade spirit crystals and began to devour and refine them. The 5th level of the Martial King realm required even more top-grade spirit crystals. Lu Ming had refined 900,000 of them before he reached the peak of the 5th level of the Martial King realm. Then he refined 80 more and broke through to the early stage of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. However, Lu Ming did not stop there. He refined another 5 million pieces of top-grade spirit crystals and cultivated to the peak of the 6th level Martial King realm. He had reached his limit here because he could not break through the realm of heaven and earth, so it was impossible for his cultivation to break through. In total, he had refined 3 million supreme spiritual crystals in 7 days. If others knew about this, they would be scared to death. He had refined 3 million supreme spiritual crystals in 7 days, and his cultivation had broken through several levels. He was not human. Of course, this was also thanks to the 9 dragon bloodlines advancement to the 7th level of the king tier, which greatly enhanced the power of devouring and refining. If it were in the past, it would not have been possible. A peak lever 6 Martial King realm. His genuine yuan is too strong. Lu Ming felt that the moment he opened his mouth, all he spurted out was essential core. How strong is my current combat power? Lu Ming's eyes glimmered. When the 3 kinds of intent realms of heaven and earth reached the 1st level small success, the power of the 3 kinds of fusion was definitely comparable to the completion of the 1st level of a single intent realm. In addition, his cultivation was now at the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. Lu Ming did not know how strong he was. In any case, killing a lever 7 King realm warrior would be a piece of cake. I might as well cultivate the 3 absolutes of the dragon god once more and raise my strength to the limit before going out. Lu Ming pondered. In this place, Lu Ming had a huge advantage. He could quickly turn the intent crystals into strength. For the others, no matter how many esoteric crystals they had, they could not use them as quickly as Lu Ming. Moreover, even if their concepts had improved, their cultivation would not improve as quickly as Lu Ming because their speed of refining crystals was far slower than his. Therefore, Lu Ming was not afraid that other people's cultivation would also increase rapidly. Lu Ming planned to raise his combat strength to the maximum and then go out to excavate the profound meaning crystals. He would kill the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect and take their profound meaning crystals. Under the path understanding ancient tree, the speed of comprehending martial techniques was also 10 times faster than normal. In just half a month's time, Lu Ming had cultivated the dragon god's 3 absolutes to the 4th stage. Lu Ming's ability had increased by another level. Let's go. It's time to reap the rewards. With a single thought, Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine and turned into a ray of light, disappearing in a flash. Lu Ming did not control his speed at all. He flew wildly in the sky. In the blink of an eye, he had traveled more than 100,000 miles. Along the way, Lu Ming saw 5 to 6 esoteric crystal veins that had been mined. Lu Ming did not stop in this area. He flew further away. 5 hours later, Lu Ming finally met a figure. Hurry up, hurry up. We'll finish excavating this intent crystal vein and go look for the next one. Not far ahead, a shout came out. There were around 30 corpse guards controlling the refined corpses and excavating a power Upanishad crystal vein. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had sent in a lot of people. There were nearly 1,000 of them, and 30 of them was only a small portion. Buzz! Lu Ming appeared in the sky above the esoteric crystal mine with a cold smile on his face. What a coincidence! The leaders of this group of corpse guards were the two 7th-level Martial King Realm corpse guards that Lu Ming had encountered earlier. Chapter 567. 567 Sweep, Huge Harvest. Lu Ming's appearance alarmed the corpse guards. Who is it? Brats, so it's you. You still dare to appear? You're looking for death. Lu Ming. A few cold shouts were heard. The two 7th-level Martial King Realm corpse guards instantly recognized Lu Ming. Buzz. Ooh. The air was torn as two Level 7 Martial King Realm refined corpses blocked Lu Ming's path of retreat. This time, they had learned their lesson. They blocked the road in the beginning, afraid that Lu Ming would escape again. It seems that you have gained a lot during this period of time. Lu Ming's eyes shone with a fiery glow. As far as he knew, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect rarely cultivated the 9 common mentalities. What the Heavenly Corpse sect cultivated the most was a special kind of mentalism called the death mentalism. Therefore, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect would definitely not use up all the ultimacy crystals they had excavated. Most of them were kept in the storage rings, waiting to be exchanged for resources. Hee hee, not bad indeed, kid. Unfortunately, you can only be envious. Kill. A Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guard sneered and suddenly shouted. Whoosh. Whoosh. The two Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards behind Lu Ming immediately attacked him. In front of him, another Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guard was controlling two refined corpses to besiege Lu Ming. This time, you're the ones who will die. And NBSP, the wind lightning spear appeared in his hand, and he swept it. A full moon appeared in the sky. Bang, 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 bang. The spear light accurately hit the 4 Level 7 Martial King refined corpses. Like 4 cannonballs, the 4 refined corpses were sent flying 10,000 meters away and crashed into a few mountains. With a series of rumbles, dust filled the air, and a few large mountains collapsed, sending gravel flying. All the corpse guards' expressions changed drastically, especially the two Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards. They could no longer sense the 4 refined corpses, which meant that the 4 refined corpses had been destroyed. How is this possible? A refined corpse has copper skin and iron bones. It's impervious to swords and spears, especially a Level 7 Martial King refined corpse. Even a Level 8 Martial King expert can't destroy it so easily. And Lu Ming had destroyed 4 Level 7 Martial King refined corpses with a single shot. The faces of the two Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards turned pale. Let's go! Without any hesitation, the two Level 7 Martial King Realm corpse guards madly flew into the distance. It's too late for you to leave. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared behind the two corpse guards. His long spear smashed towards the two of them with the force of Mount Tai. An enormous spear light that was thousands of meters long crushed down at the two corpse guards. The two corpse guards roared and fought back with all their might. However, the corpse guards' combat strength was weak to begin with. How could it stop Lu Ming? Boom! The spear light smashed down, and the two Level 7 Martial King corpse guards were smashed into meat paste. Run! When the other corpse guards saw this scene, they were scared out of their wits and scattered in all directions. Devour! Roar! The bloodline of the 9 dragons flew out and let out a long roar. A terrifying devouring power burst out of its mouth and covered the corpse guards. What happened? Why can't I run anymore? My blood essence is about to fly out, help. One by one, the corpse guards cried out in fear. But in the next moment whoosh, whoosh, drops of blood essence were directly devoured from the body of those corpse guards, flying into the mouth of the 9 dragon bloodline. Once his blood essence was devoured, his life force would also be gone. more than 30 corpse guards had all fallen and landed on the ground. Who? The bloodline of the 9 dragons swallowed the blood essence of the 2 lever 7 martial king realm corpse guards. With a wave of his hand, Lu Ming's quintessential essence formed thin threads and took off all the corpse guards' storage rings. Let's go. We'll find a place to refine the blood essence and then count it. Lu Ming moved and left the place. Tens of thousands of miles away, Lu Ming entered the Supreme Shrine and began to refine the blood essence. This time, Lu Ming used all the power of his blood essence to upgrade his second blood meridian. The blood essence of the 2 lever 7 martial king realm king tiers and more than 30 other corpse guards was extremely rich. Not long after, the second bloodline trembled slightly and the 7th Esilever chakra appeared. King level 7th rank bloodline. The blood essence of a late-stage king was indeed extraordinary. Buzz! The second bloodline trembled slightly, and the mist that shrouded the stone tablet seemed to become lighter. On the top of the stone tablet, there was a large, blurry word that appeared and disappeared. Lu Ming widened his eyes and observed carefully. Suppress. At the top of the stone tablet, there seemed to be a word, suppress. Town? Could it be that this steel is called the suppressing steel? Lu Ming was very curious. Unfortunately, he could only vaguely see this word. Lu Ming could not see the other words. Sooner or later, it will all appear. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with anticipation. Then he took out the storage rings of the corpse guards and started to count them. There were a total of 33 storage rings. Lu Ming first checked the storage ring of a lever 7 martial king realm corpse guard. He was overjoyed when he saw it. There were piles of intent crystals in the storage ring. There were too many of them. Each pile was worth at least 500 yuan. Not only were there 9 commonly seen intent crystals, but there were also some special intent crystals. For example, Star Intent Crystals and Berserk Intent Crystals. And NBSP, there were a total of 13 intent crystals. And NBSP. Of course, the number of special intent crystals was much smaller, but there were still more than 100. There were a few metal boxes beside the profound meaning crystals. Lu Ming opened them and realized that they were all middle-grade profound meaning crystals. There were a total of 30 pieces of middle-grade profound meaning crystals. Lu Ming was almost drooling. Whoa, this place is really a peerless treasure land. Lu Ming's eyes emitted a fiery glow. He then checked the other storage rings. There was no doubt that the 2 lever 7 martial king realm corpse guards had the most number of intent crystals, but the other 30 corpse guards added together also had a lot. In the end, Lu Ming discovered that he had about 20,000 pieces of various crystals. Yes, more than 20,000 intent crystals and 108 middle-grade intent crystals. I'm rich, I'm really rich. If he were to bring these ultimacy crystals to Tianxian City, the entire city would probably be shaken. Other than the esoteric crystals, Lu Ming had not counted the rest. He could not be bothered to do so now. He would slowly count them when he had time later. It's still faster to kill these Sky Corps sect corpse guards to obtain intent crystals. If I dig them up myself, how long will it take? Lu Ming decided to go out and hunt corpse guards to obtain intent crystals. Not long after, Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and began to search the area. Unfortunately, within a radius of more than 100,000 miles, he only encountered a small team of a dozen corpse guards. The highest cultivation was only at the 5th level of the Martial King realm, and they were easily killed by Lu Ming. And NBSP, this small team only had a little more than 1,000 intent crystals. Looks like I'll have to search further away. Lu Ming continued to fly forward at high speed. Chapter 568. 568 The Damned Lightning Cauldron. Boom. Boom. Half a day later, a series of rumbles sounded in the sky above a mountain peak hundreds of thousands of miles away. A few figures were engaged in an intense battle. Gakudo Path Attack. Pucci. Lu Ming's spear pierced through the space between the eyebrows of a middle-aged corpse guard, and he died unwillingly. It seems that I'll have no problem killing a corpse guard at the peak of Level 8 Martial King realm with my extreme strike. However, corpse guards are weaker than ordinary martial artists. My combat strength is still no match for a king at the upper tier of Level 9 Martial King realm. Lu Ming kept his long spear and pondered. On the ground below, there were dozens of corpses, all of which were corpse guards. Not long ago, Lu Ming had come here and encountered these corpse guards, and a great battle had begun. The leader of these corpse guards was a peak Level 8 Martial King. Lu Ming had to use all his combat strength to kill all of them. His quintessential essence swept out and collected all the storage rings. Lu Ming found a place and started to count. His harvest this time was even greater than last time. He had nearly 30,000 intent crystals in total. Crazy, this was too crazy. Even with Lu Ming's composure, he could not help but tremble. Intent crystals weren't something that could be measured by price. If they were taken out, countless people would fight for them. Right now, should I cultivate first, or should I go and hunt the heavenly corpse guards first? Lu Ming pondered. I'd better cultivate first. From the looks of it, I won't be able to return anytime soon. I might as well rush to the late king tier in one go. That way, I won't have to fear anyone in this place other than those giant beasts. Lu Ming made up his mind and then took out a piece of Thunder Profound Crystal. He planned to comprehend the Thunder concept first. After all, his Thunder concept was lagging behind the other two concepts. And NBSP, he planned to first use low-grade Lightning Intent Crystals to raise his Lightning Intent to the peak of Level 1 Small Success, then use mid-grade Lightning Intent Crystals to break through to Level 1 Large Success. Bang! Lu Ming crushed a Thunder Profound Crystal, closed his eyes, and began to comprehend. However, Lu Ming opened his eyes in less than a minute. What's going on? Why did the Intent Realm threads in the Intent Crystals disappear for no reason? Lu Ming's eyes were filled with bewilderment. When he was cultivating just now, he realized that he couldn't absorb any intent at all. It had completely disappeared. Faster, I want to see what's going on. Lu Ming took out another piece and crushed it. This time, Lu Ming did not start to comprehend. Instead, he observed carefully. In the end, he was dumbfounded to find that all of the Intent Realm threads had flown to the space between his brows and were absorbed by the lightning cauldron in his sea of consciousness. No way, Nest. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. And NBSP, he had never used lightning intent crystals before, so he hadn't noticed this problem. This lightning cauldron was actually trying to snatch the lightning concept silk from him. Lu Ming did not give up. He crushed a few more Thunder Profound crystals, but the result was the same. Lu Ming crushed another esoteric crystal, but the lightning cauldron did not react at all. Nest, you don't have to do this. I'll XXXX. Lu Ming was speechless. He had the urge to vomit blood. This way, didn't that mean he had to comprehend the thunder concept honestly and couldn't use intent crystals to rapidly increase it? His plan to increase his cultivation base at a crazy rate was going to be ruined. Because no matter how fast he comprehended other concepts, it would be useless if the thunder concept didn't catch up. Heavens, why are you playing with me like this? Lu Ming looked at the large pile of Thunder Profound crystals in the storage ring and sighed to the sky. Then, Lu Ming's consciousness appeared in his consciousness. He looked at the lightning cauldron and gritted his teeth. He wished he could just throw the lightning cauldron away. However, he was just thinking about it. Let's not talk about whether he could do it or not. Even if he couldn't bear to do it. Forget it, I'll just comprehend it honestly. Lu Ming sat cross-legged under the lightning cauldron and began to comprehend the lightning concept. Fortunately, the path understanding ancient tree was placed next to Lu Ming. Even if he was in his sea of consciousness, the effect would still be 10 times that of normal. After all, the sea of consciousness was only in the space between his eyebrows. Lu Ming calmed his heart down and started to comprehend the concept of thunder. Even without the profound meaning crystals, With the help of the Thunder Cauldron and the path-understanding ancient tree, Lu Ming's comprehension of the thunder mentality was extremely fast. It was 100 times faster than the others. 10 days later, Lu Ming's comprehension of the thunder concept had reached the peak of level 1 lower tier. However, it was not easy to break through to level 1 upper tier. It required accumulation. Lu Ming had been in this place for more than a month. I must quickly think of a way to get out of here. There are only 3.5 months left until the day of Senior Sister Mulan's wedding with the Sacred Constellation and the day of my challenge to the Sacred Constellation. Lu Ming frowned. However, he was still clueless about how to get out. Lu Ming decided to hunt corpse guards while he searched for a way to get out. After leaving the Supreme Shrine, Lu Ming flew in a straight line in one direction. What? At this moment, Dandan, who was hanging in her hair, flew out. Her whole body was shining and trembling slightly. Then she flew in one direction at an extreme speed. What's going on? What did Dandan find? Lu Ming had some doubts and flew to follow Dandan. After flying for about 10,000 miles, a huge mountain shrouded in dark red mist appeared in front of them. The surroundings of this mountain peak were deathly silent. There were no plants nor any living beings. The mountain was filled with dark red mist, and it was obvious that it was an evil creature. Dandan flew to the front of the mountain, trembling slightly, as if she was very excited, and then flew into the mountain. Lu Ming followed him and flew in. Kill! Kill! As soon as Lu Ming came into contact with the dark red mist, an earth-shattering battle cry rang out in his mind. He realized that his surroundings had changed. It had become a living hell. Millions of corpses lay on the ground, and blood flowed like rivers. Countless powerful existences were fighting. Lu Ming saw a true dragon flying in the sky, but it was torn into two by a demonic shadow that was as tall as the sky. Lu Ming saw a phoenix flying across the sky, but its wings were cut off by a demonic shadow. A human expert slashed open the sky with a sword, but he was blasted apart by a fiend shadow with a punch. An unimaginable scene appeared before Lu Ming's eyes. The terrifying killing intent almost made Lu Ming's mind collapse. At this moment, Lu Ming felt a force pulling at him. The surrounding environment changed. He was still at the edge of the mountain. The bloodline of the 9 dragons surrounded his body, and the devouring power burst out to resist the dark red mist. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. This dark red mist was too strange. It was extremely dangerous just now, and Lu Ming almost had a mental breakdown. What was that scene just now? Could it be a real war that happened in history? Lu Ming was very curious. Dandan. Then, Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' bloodline to protect his body and rushed toward the mountain peak. When he reached the peak, he was dumbfounded. Chapter 569. 569 Dandan hatched. On the peak, there was a broken wing. On top of it, divine light shone, and it was extremely mysterious. Most importantly, this wing was very similar to the scene that Lu Ming had just seen. A phoenix's wing had been cut off. These were phoenix wings. Lu Ming felt that his heart was about to jump to his throat. What was a phoenix? An ancient divine beast, an existence on par with a true dragon, an invincible existence, and incomparably powerful. In the divine wilderness continent, it had already been extinct for many years. But now, here he actually saw such a wing. What made Lu Ming most dumbfounded was that Dandan was actually eating this wing. He saw that Dandan had become 100 meters tall. On the eggshell, there was a huge crack, and it was biting the wing bit by bit. Moreover, the speed was very fast. In a few moments, more than half of it was eaten by Dandan. Even the feathers on it were not spared. Damn, leave some for me. Lu Ming shouted and dashed forward. However, as soon as Lu Ming approached, he felt a terrifying aura acting on his body. Waves of tearing pain came. Lu Ming felt that his body was almost torn apart. Lu Ming retreated hurriedly in shock. What a terrifying aura. This might really be a phoenix's wing. Even after its death, its aura has not dispersed. Ordinary people can't get close to it at all. Lu Ming was shocked. However, Dandan, that beast, was actually completely fine and was even eating in big mouthfuls. Very quickly, an entire wing was gnawed off by Dandan. Only a few feathers were left. "You beast!" Lu Ming screamed in a heart-wrenching manner. However, after it finished gnawing, it returned to the size of a human head and landed on the mountain peak, motionless. Only its surface emitted a faint light. After the wing was eaten, the terrifying aura disappeared. Lu Ming walked over. "Dandan." Lu Ming patted Dandan, but she did not move. This guy, could it be that he ate too much and needs to digest? Lu Ming tried to lift Dandan up but realized that she was heavier than a mountain. He could not carry her at all. Lu Ming was speechless. It seemed that he would have to wait here for a while. Lu Ming sized up his surroundings. He realized that there were still a few feathers left on the mountain peak. Lu Ming hurriedly ran over to pick them up. There were a total of 5 feathers, each about half a meter long. On that wing, it was the shortest and was considered a mixed feather, which was why it fell off. But even so, the 5 feathers were sparkling and fiery red, as if they were made of fire jade. They exuded an astonishing qi. Lu Ming had to use all his strength to resist it. "This is also a supreme treasure, keep it first." Lu Ming took out a storage ring and kept the 5 feathers. He then looked around, but unfortunately, he didn't find anything else. "Forget it, I'll cultivate while waiting for Dandan." Lu Ming entered the Supreme Shrine and continued to comprehend the thunder mentality. Lu Ming's comprehension of the thunder concept improved by leaps and bounds every day. This cultivation lasted for half a month. With the help of the path understanding ancient tree and the lightning cauldron, Lu Ming's half a month of cultivation was equivalent to 4 years of cultivation for others. Lu Ming felt that his thunder concept was about to break through to level 1 upper tier. It was just a piece of paper away. At this moment, Lu Ming felt something strange outside and left the Supreme Shrine. At this moment, Dandan's body was emitting an intense light, as bright as a small sun. A terrifying life essence rippled out. "Kacha!" All of a sudden, Lu Ming heard a slight cracking sound from Dandan's body and a tiny crack appeared. Could it be that Dandan is about to hatch? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Dandan was spurted out from the Heaven's Gate, and it was extremely wonderful. It was unafraid of any energy attack and had a huge appetite. It could even eat heavenly tribulations and phoenix wings. Lu Ming had always been very curious. What was Dandan? What kind of creature would it be after it hatched? Now, the answer was finally revealed. "Kacha!" Another sound came from the eggshell. "Treasure, there's a treasure here." Suddenly, an excited shout could be heard. "Ha! This treasure is definitely unusual. It's ours." The sound of air being torn sounded out as dozens of corpse guards appeared with refined corpses. "Brat, this treasure isn't something you can look at." One of the corpse guards saw Lu Ming and immediately controlled a refined corpse to attack him. "All of you are going to die." Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. His 9-dragon bloodline emerged and he opened his mouth to suck. The dozens of corpse guards, who were below the level of a king tier, had their blood essence devoured by Lu Ming and died an unnatural death. The remaining 2 corpse guards, one at level 7 and the other at level 8 Martial King Realm, looked at Lu Ming with a dumbfounded expression, their eyes filled with shock. What martial arts technique was Lu Ming performing? He had actually killed dozens of corpse guards with one move. "Kill!" Lu Ming took a step forward and charged at the 2 corpse guards. Boom! Boom! In less than 10 moves, the 2 corpse guards were killed by Lu Ming and all the storage rings fell into his hands. At this moment, more cracks appeared on Dandan's eggshell. As Lu Ming refined the blood essence, he fixed his gaze on Dandan. A few minutes later, with a bang, the eggshell cracked completely. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. A turtle the size of a fist appeared before Lu Ming's eyes. This turtle stood on its 2 legs like a human, and its 2 front legs were like human hands. It stretched its waist. Haha, I'm finally resurrected. I've returned to the world. Experts of this world, tremble. Beauties of this world, open your hearts and wait for my arrival. Ha! The little turtle could actually speak the human language and let out a long howl. However, his voice was extremely tender, like that of a 3-year-old child. It was extremely comical. Lu Ming's eyelids were twitching and his lips were trembling. What the hell? What the hell was this egg hatching? Not only did it hatch a turtle, but it was also a talking, extremely narcissistic turtle. Lu Ming was completely speechless. After a while, he said, Dan. Before he could finish, he was interrupted. Dan, what Dan? If you call me Dandan again, this lord won't spare you. In the past, this lord was like a turtle under the roof, so I endured it, but in the future, you better behave yourself. The little turtle placed his 2 front legs on his turtle shell, looking like a peerless master as he berated. It was just that his young and tender voice really did not have the slightest bit of deterrence. Dandan, what are you? You can actually speak the moment you're born. Where are your parents? Lu Ming was extremely curious. Junior, shut up. I'm telling you, I'm the head of the top 10 war beasts, invincible since ancient times. I live as long as the heaven and earth, and shine as brightly as the sun and the moon. Where did I get my parents from? I've said it before, if you call me Dandan again, I'll get angry with you. The little turtle stretched out one of its claws and pointed at Lu Ming, its eyes wide open. The top 10 war beasts? Dandan, what's that? Lu Ming asked curiously. You. The little turtle almost coughed up blood, and he took a few deep breaths to calm himself down. Baring his fangs, he said, Forget it, you're just a little brat, this lord won't stoop to your level. Chapter 570. 570 Profound Yellow Soil. Its eyes rolled twice as if it was in deep thought. After a while, it coughed and said, Back then, I experienced a bitter battle and was seriously injured. I had no choice but to turn into an egg. After countless years, I was finally reborn. As I had just been reborn, my memories are not complete. As for what the top 10 battle beasts were, I can't remember clearly. You can't remember? Lu Ming looked at Dandan suspiciously and said, Then you should be very strong, right? Cough, cough, didn't I tell you? I was too heavily injured back then, and I've just been reborn. I haven't recovered much of my strength. Dandan placed a turtle claw by her mouth and coughed a few times in a very human-like manner. Dandan, you're not lying to me, are you? Lu Ming looked at Dandan with a look of disbelief. In the past, Dandan had been very intelligent. Lu Ming suspected that before Dandan hatched, she had learned to speak. After she hatched, she pretended to be an expert to fool him. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. As for the so-called top 10 war beasts, he didn't believe it at all. Brat, you actually dare to doubt me? Fine, in order to make you convinced, I'll give you a good fortune now. Dandan put her hands behind her back, her face full of displeasure. Oh, what good fortune? Lu Ming said with a smile. I sense that there's a supreme treasure in a place not far away. I'll take you there now and make you convinced. Dandan snorted coldly. What treasure? Lu Ming was very curious. If I'm not wrong, that should be the dark yellow soil. It can absorb all the energy in the world and transform it into its own energy to grow peerless spiritual medicine. Dandan smiled proudly. What? Profound yellow soil? Is that true? Lu Ming was greatly shocked. Xianhuang soil was a rare treasure that only appeared when the world was first created. It was a divine soil used to grow spiritual herbs. In the ancient times, the most powerful people in the world would use the dark yellow soil to cultivate spirit herbs. However, the dark yellow soil was extremely rare and was sold in taels. One tael could be sold for a sky-high price. Lu Ming immediately thought of the path understanding ancient tree. If he had the dark yellow soil, the problem of cultivation would be much easier. The spring water in the jade box containing the ancient tree of comprehension was almost empty, so it was crucial to find spiritual liquid to nurture it. Hee, come with me. Dandan smiled complacently. With her hands behind her back, she spread her legs and stepped on the air, flying into the distance at an extremely fast speed. Although Lu Ming was skeptical, he still followed her. About 50,000 miles away from Lu Ming, the area within 1,000 miles was barren and desolate. Not a single blade of grass grew. Two figures were flying within. If Lu Ming was here, he would be able to recognize the two of them at a glance. One of them was the Palace Master of Lightning, and the other was the Palace Master of Fire. And there's a medicinal fragrance coming from over there. Suddenly, the Palace Master of Fire stopped. Medicinal fragrance. Thunder Palace Master was a little confused. There's no mistake. I'm usually a part-time alchemist, so I'm extremely sensitive to the smell of spirit herbs. It's not far ahead. The Palace Master of Fire said. I don't even see spirit medicine in this world, and yet here it is in this barren land. It's definitely extraordinary. Let's go take a look. Thunder Palace Master's eyes lit up. The two of them advanced at an extreme speed. Not long after, a mound appeared in front of them. The medicinal fragrance was coming from this mound. The surroundings of the mound were also barren, but there were 7 spiritual herbs growing on the mound. That's the common knotgrass. What's going on? It's actually emitting such terrifying medicinal properties. When the two of them saw it, they were both shocked. This was because the common knotgrass was a level 1 spiritual herb. To them it was like trash. However, the 7 knotweeds in front of him were translucent and surrounded by divine multicolored light, giving off a strong medicinal fragrance. It was definitely not a level 1 spiritual herb, but a level 6 spiritual herb. And it was a top-grade level 6 spiritual herb. What kind of place was this? How could it turn a level 1 spiritual herb into a top-tier level 6 spiritual herb? Profound yellow soil. That's profound yellow soil. The Palace Master of Fire looked at the bottom of the 7-section grass and his eyes suddenly widened, revealing a look of disbelief. Below the 7-section grass was red and yellow soil. A terrifying spiritual energy was exuding from the soil. This was Xianhuang silicoearth. What? Profound yellow soil. Thunder Palace Master was also shocked. His eyes were wide open, and then his eyes revealed a burning greed. Looking at the surface area, it was about 1 meter square. How many jin was it? One had to know that in the outside world, in a small domain like the Tianxian region, treasures like the Xianhuang obsidian could not be found. In some larger domains, it was possible to find Xianhuang obsidian, but they were extremely rare and were sold at the price of 2 taels. And here, he didn't know how many jin there were. I'm rich, I'm rich. The Palace Master of Fire's mouth was about to split open from his smile. Compared to the dark yellow soil, the 7 pieces of level 6 upper-grade common knotgrass were not as eye-catching. Old Hua, since the two of us have discovered it together, we'll each take half of it. How about it? Thunder Palace Master said. Sure, no problem. The Palace Master of Fire nodded and stared at the Xianhuang silicoid soil. Old Hua, you are more skilled in alchemy. You will be in charge of excavating the dark yellow obsidian soil. I will stand guard at the side. Thunder Palace Master said. All right. The Palace Master of Fire nodded and then flew toward the mound with a fiery gaze. At this moment, a sinister look flashed across the eyes of the Thunder Palace Master. A sword of lightning appeared in his hand, and he stabbed the back of the Fire Palace Master. The Fire Palace Master had never expected that the Thunder Palace Master, whom he had known for several hundred years, would make a move on him. He was caught off guard and was stabbed in the face. Pucci! The sword of lightning pierced through the Palace Master of Fire's chest. Ah! The Fire Palace Master let out an earth-shattering roar. A fire lion appeared and pounced at the Thunder Palace Master. Thunder Palace Master pulled out his long sword and retreated 1,000 meters, avoiding the Fire Lion's attack. Why? The Fire Palace Master turned around. His eyes were red as he looked at the Thunder Palace Master in disbelief. Hee hee, isn't it a pity for two people to share such a large piece of dark yellow soil? I'll take it all for myself. Isn't that great? Also, I've been coveting the power Upanishad crystals in your storage ring for a long time. Thunder Palace Master sneered. You deserve to die. You should die. The Palace Master of Fire roared in anger. I deserve to die? Haha, you're the one who's going to die now. The Thunder Palace Master laughed wildly. The thunder on his body flashed, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Stop! Right at this moment, a furious roar was heard. A figure was approaching at extreme speed. Buzz! A figure appeared. It was Lu Ming. The little turtle Dandan was standing on his shoulder. Under Dandan's guidance, he flew over and just happened to see the scene of the Palace Master of Thunder attacking the Palace Master of Fire. Chapter 571. 571 The Great Battle with the Thunder Palace Master. Lu Ming. Little bastard, it's you? The moment Lu Ming arrived, the Palace Masters of Fire and Thunder exclaimed in shock. Lu Ming glanced at the Palace Master of Fire and sighed. The Palace Master of Fire's heart had been pierced by the Palace Master of Thunder. Furthermore, he had been ravaged by the power of thunder. He was already at his wits' end. If not for the Palace Master of Fire's profound cultivation, he would have died. Lu Ming, hurry up and leave. Hurry up and run. The Palace Master of Fire shouted. Go, where do you want to go? Last time, you were lucky enough to escape. This time, you're still as stupid as ever. You've delivered yourself to my door. He's really seeking his own death. Thunder Palace Master laughed heartily. This time, not only would he be able to obtain the dark yellow soil, but he would also be able to get rid of Lu Ming, a great threat. Naturally, he was extremely happy. Lu Ming's eyes flickered, but he did not reply. Instead, he sent a voice transmission to Dandan. Dandan, you said you're an unparalleled expert. Can you slap this old man to death now? Lu Ming said. Cough, cough, didn't I tell you? I've just been reborn, and my strength hasn't recovered yet. I'm afraid I'm not his match, but you have to believe me when I'm at my peak, not to mention this kind of trash, even if it's a spiritual ocean tier warrior, I can kill thousands of them with a single breath. Even if it's a martial emperor, I can kill a large group with a single slap. Dandan stood on Lu Ming's shoulder and transmitted her voice to Lu Ming smugly. Lu Ming was speechless. Kill! Suddenly, the Thunder Palace Master shouted in a low voice. With a flash of lightning, he slashed his sword at Lu Ming. Raging lions bursting flames. The Fire Palace Master roared, and a scorching aura burst out from his body. A huge flame lion rushed out and charged at the Thunder Palace Master. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming thrust his spear. Boom! With a loud boom, the Temple Master of Thunder drifted backward while Lu Ming and the Temple Master of Fire also drifted back dozens of meters. The Palace Master of Fire coughed out a large mouthful of blood. His body trembled, and he actually couldn't float in the air. Instead, he fell to the ground. Senior! Lu Ming waved his hand and wrapped the Palace Master of Fire with his vital essence, bringing him to the ground. Lu Ming, run! You're not his match. The Palace Master of Fire roared and kept spitting out blood. There were even traces of lightning in the blood. Old fire, he's about to die. If he still wants to attack, he'll only die faster. You don't have to tell him to escape. Do you think he can escape from me? Thunder Palace Master sneered, his eyes cold. Old man, you're the one to die today. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely cold. There were no living beings here. Lu Ming decided to take a risk and use the lightning cauldron to kill the Lightning Palace Master. I'm the one who died? Haha, that's the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. Thunder Palace Master laughed. Then his face darkened and he shouted, "Die!" Between heaven and earth, thunder and lightning gathered, forming a huge sword of lightning that slashed at Lu Ming. True dragon strike. Boom! Lu Ming's cultivation was completely unleashed. The three-colored concepts merged and he thrust his spear forward. A huge three-colored true dragon flew out and roared. Boom! With a violent boom, Lu Ming's body trembled and he retreated rapidly. However, the Lightning Palace Master's lightning sword was also blocked by Lu Ming. Not far away, the Palace Master of Fire was extremely shocked. He had never expected that Lu Ming would be able to block the attack of the Palace Master of Lightning. Impossible? How is that possible? Thunder Palace Master roared in disbelief. In such a short period of time, Lu Ming's cultivation had soared to the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm, and his combat strength was extremely terrifying. His heart trembled. He had lived for hundreds of years and had never seen such a terrifying genius. No, he was like a terrifying monster. Even Yen Kuang-tu, the genius who had shocked the entire Eastern Barren territory 100 years ago, was not this terrifying. Kill him. If I don't kill him, I'll die. Thunder Palace Master felt extremely terrified. It was the fear that Lu Ming brought to him. As expected, I'm still a little lacking compared to a Level 9 Martial King. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. With his combat strength, he could easily kill a Level 8 Martial King realm martial artist, but there was still a gap between him and a Level 9 Martial King realm martial artist. Lu Ming, I have a way to increase your strength and kill that old man. At this time, Danden's voice came into his ears. What is it? Lu Ming asked. I'm the leader of the top 10 war beasts, and I've lived for a very long time. Not only is my combat strength invincible, but my Tao of inscription is also invincible. I'm now inscribing an inscription formation on your body, which can make your true essence instantly go berserk and double its strength. This way, you can suppress that old man. Moreover, this method has no side effects. Danden explained proudly. Nonsense, then hurry up. Lu Ming shouted. Hold on for a few moves, I'll inscribe it. Immediately, Danden's pair of front claws glowed with light and waved continuously. With a flash of lightning, the Thunder Palace Master turned into a bolt of lightning and appeared in front of Lu Ming in an instant, slashing down with his sword. Clang! Lu Ming blocked the attack with his long spear, but his body was sent flying backward. Lightning strike. Thunder Palace Master used his killer move. The lightning sword stabbed out, and the air was instantly scorched by the power of lightning, forming a space zone. Gakudo Path Attack. Clang! The two powerful attacks collided. A blazing light spot that was brighter than the sun burst out where the tip of the spear and the tip of the sword met. Buzz! Lu Ming's body trembled violently and his qi and blood churned. He was sent flying a few thousand meters and a trace of blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. Danden, are you done? Lu Ming asked. Ahem, wait a minute. I failed just now. Danden coughed a few times. Nest. Lu Ming wanted to curse. Danden was too unreliable. She failed to inscribe an inscription. Was she trying to fool him? I failed again. Danden muttered. Lu Ming was speechless. He could only fight back and fight against the Palace Master of Thunder Palace. The booming sounds continued. After 5 to 6 moves, Lu Ming's body was in great pain. Die! Thunder Palace Master seemed to have gone crazy, and the aura on his body became stronger and stronger. Danden, are you done? Lu Ming asked again. If things didn't go well, he would use the lightning cauldron to kill the Lightning Palace Master. It's done. Danden laughed. At this moment, rays of light suddenly emanated from Lu Ming's body. Lines of beautiful inscriptions emerged on his body. At this moment, Lu Ming felt the essential core in his body circulating crazily and becoming violent. Compared to before, it was a huge improvement, not just twice. So strong. Lu Ming felt that he was filled with endless energy. At this moment, Thunder Palace Master charged over again. Kill! Lu Ming roared and drew his spear. Buzz! The space trembled violently. The long spear formed an arc and struck the combat sword of Thunder Palace Master heavily. Bang! Thunder Palace Master was like a cannonball as he was sent flying for more than 10,000 meters. Chapter 572. 572 Killing the Thunder Palace Master. How is that possible? Thunder Palace Master cried out in disbelief. He racked his brains but could not understand how Lu Ming had suddenly become so strong. Could it be some kind of secret technique? Thunder Palace Master's mind was spinning. Below, the Palace Master of Fire was also dumbfounded. Nest, I almost forgot. Lu Ming's cultivation technique is not to be underestimated. He used this inscription to increase his power by more than 2 times. Dandan muttered. Kill! Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps. With one step, he appeared in the sky above the Thunder Palace Master. He looked down and smashed his spear at the Thunder Palace Master. Boom! Under Lu Ming's violent essential core, the spear ray was as heavy as a mountain as it smashed towards the Thunder Palace Master. The Thunder Palace Master let out a long roar and formed a thunder giant. He held a thunder sword and slashed upwards like a god descending to the mortal world. Boom! Lu Ming's spear radiance was unstoppable. It exploded and the lightning giant collapsed. The violent power struck the Thunder Palace Master. Thunder Palace Master fell to the ground like a meteorite, creating a huge pit that was hundreds of meters wide and dozens of meters deep. The next moment, Thunder Palace Master rushed out of the huge pit. At this moment, the Thunder Palace Master's hair was disheveled, his clothes were in tatters, and there was blood at the corner of his mouth. He looked extremely pathetic. Ha, old geezer Zheng, to think that you'd have such a day. Haha, after Yan Kuangtu from 100 years ago, the eastern Tianxin region has given birth to another unparalleled genius. The Fire Palace Master laughed heartily. Then the life force in his body slowly dissipated and disappeared. The Palace Master of Fire left while laughing. Damn it! Thunder Palace Master roared angrily, then turned around and ran. He knew that he could no longer kill Lu Ming. He could only escape. Want to run? Kill. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps and chased after him. His long spear trembled and beams of spear radiance burst out. Thunder Palace Master was helpless and could only turn around to block with all his might. Watch me! Dandan stomped her feet and jumped off Lu Ming's shoulders. She grinned and shouted. Then, her 4 heads retracted into the turtle shell. The turtle shell spun continuously in the air and smashed toward the Master of Thunder Palace's face. The Master of Thunder Palace struck out countless bolts of lightning, but they were completely useless against the turtle shell. The turtle shell passed through the layers of lightning and smashed towards the Master of Thunder Palace's face. The Thunder Palace Master was already experienced. He quickly used one hand to defend and wanted to slap Dandan away. However, Dandan spun in the air and quickly dodged the palm of the Thunder Palace Master. Bang! A turtle shell was imprinted on Thunder Palace Master's face. The Master of Thunder Palace screamed and retreated. A clear tortoise shell mark appeared on his face, and blood was flowing. Gakudo Path Attack. Lu Ming seized the opportunity to cast a Gakudo Path Attack and pierced the Thunder Palace Master's heart with his spear. Thunder Palace Master roared, his eyes filled with unwillingness. Let's go! With a shake of the long spear, a violent energy burst forth, destroying Thunder Palace Master's heart and internal organs. I'm not willing. Thunder Palace Master roared and died. You brought this upon yourself, you can't live. Lu Ming snorted coldly. His 9-dragon bloodline emerged and devoured the blood essence of the Lightning Palace Master. Then he took off the Lightning Palace Master's storage ring. Lu Ming stepped forward and came before the Palace Master of Fire. the palace master of fire had already breathed his last, but his face still carried a carefree smile. Lu Ming sighed. It was a pity that the dignified hall master of the Eastern Palace had died at the hands of the hall master of the Thunder Hall, who was also a hall master. Senior, rest in peace. I've already killed that old man, the Thunder Palace master. Lu Ming muttered. He absorbed his essential core and kept the storage ring of the Fire Palace master. Then he dug a hole and buried the body of the Palace Master of Fire. Profound yellow soil. Lu Ming's gaze shifted to the mound. What do you think? I wasn't wrong, right? There's dark yellow obsidian soil here, which is a great fortune for you. However, the 7 knotgrass will belong to me. Dandan's 2 front claws were placed on the turtle shell, triumphantly, but her pair of black eyes were staring at the 7 stalks of 7-section grass. No, I can't give you the 7-section grass. Lu Ming rejected her directly. What? Lu Ming, you ungrateful bastard. I was the one who guided you to find Xianhuang silicon soil. Do you know how precious Xianhuang silicon soil is? Also, it was me who helped you deal with the Thunder Palace master just now. Don't you know how to repay me? I was seriously injured back then and needed spiritual herbs to recover. Why are you so stingy? Dandan was furious. She pointed one of her turtle claws at Lu Ming and spat out a bunch of words. I'll give you 1. Lu Ming was speechless. No, 2. Dandan shouted. All right, deal. Lu Ming immediately agreed. Dandan grinned, as if she had been tricked by Lu Ming. Immediately after, Lu Ming dug up the 7 tufts of common knotgrass by their roots and gave 2 to Dandan. Dandan picked it up as if she was eating a radish, and she ate it with a crunching sound, looking like she was enjoying it. Lu Ming was speechless. He could not believe that Dandan was a peerless expert. Lu Ming then took out a huge alchemy furnace. This alchemy furnace was found in the storage rings of the others. Lu Ming stored all the dark yellow soil into the alchemy furnace. 1,000 gene. There was a total of 1,000 gene of profound yellow soil here, enough to fill a pill furnace. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. If so much dark yellow soil were to be released to the outside world, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. Countless inscription masters would go crazy. Lu Ming carefully planted the path understanding ancient tree into the mystical yellow soil. After planting them, Lu Ming waved his hand and a large pile of spiritual herbs and flowers appeared in the air. These were all low-level spiritual herbs that he had obtained from others. Most of them were at level 1, 2, 3, and 4. To Lu Ming, they were not of much use. Lu Ming pressed his palm down, and a majestic vital essence burst out. The spiritual herbs were instantly destroyed and shattered into pieces. Then, Lu Ming's vital essence transformed into 2 giant hands, grabbing the spiritual herb powder and squeezing it. Drops of spiritual liquid appeared and dripped on the Xianhuang silicoid soil. The profound yellow soil could turn such a spiritual liquid into one's own energy and nourish the spiritual herbs and herbs planted on it. After squeezing out a few thousand spiritual herbs of various levels, Lu Ming finally stopped and kept the dark yellow earth into the supreme shrine. Dandan, do you know where we are? Lu Ming looked at Dandan. At this time, Dandan had already finished off the 2 stalks of common knotgrass and was lying in the air, her 2 front paws covering her head, her legs crossed, with a leisurely expression. I don't know. Although the aura of this world is very familiar to me, I was too seriously injured back then and forgot. Dandan said leisurely. Lu Ming pursed his lips. He knew that this would be the result. This guy was too boastful and his words were not reliable. Lu Ming moved his body and flew in the direction he had come from at top speed. He continued to look for a way out. Wait for me. Dandan ran like crazy at an extremely fast speed. 1 man and 1 turtle disappeared into the horizon in the blink of an eye. Chapter 573. 573 An island. This piece of land was extremely vast. Lu Ming flew for 3 days in a row, covering a distance of several million miles. Along the way, Lu Ming did not find any esoteric crystal vein that could be excavated. Although this piece of land was extremely rich in ultimacy crystals, there was a limit to it. Some areas had more, while some areas had less. Along the way, Lu Ming noticed that there were many traces of digging. It was obvious that they had been dug away. In the process of flying, Lu Ming transformed the blood essence of the Thunder Palace Master into the power of the Blood Meridian. Although the blood essence of a Level 9 Martial King was extremely powerful, it still couldn't make the 9-dragon bloodline break through to the 8th level of the King realm. The amount of blood essence required for the advancement of his blood meridian was getting more and more terrifying. Therefore, the blood essence that Lu Ming devoured was not used to improve his cultivation but to improve his blood meridian. What? At this moment, Lu Ming felt a salty and wet wind blowing. He was stunned and sped up. Boom, boom, boom. In front of them, a series of rumbling sounds could be heard, as if huge waves were sweeping across the sky. At the same time, the salty and wet wind became stronger. As Lu Ming flew, the rumbling sounds became more intense and deafening. Not long after. Could this be the ocean? Lu Ming stood on a cliff and looked into the distance. He was dumbfounded. In front of him was an endless ocean with huge waves that were extremely violent. The lowest waves could reach a height of hundreds of meters, and the higher waves could even reach more than 1,000 meters. In the sky, dark clouds gathered, thunder rumbled, and the wind howled. It was a scene of doomsday. Is this really the ocean? Lu Ming had never seen the sea since he was young. He had heard of it, but he had never heard of it being so violent. Even martial arts powerhouses would not be able to stand in this ocean, let alone ordinary people. Lu Ming looked around for a while. Occasionally, he could see the figures of huge sea beasts in the sea. Lu Ming frowned. He looked around for a while and then flew at high speed along the coastline. However, the ocean they saw along the way was the same. They were all violent. Lu Ming flew for 3 days and the results were the same. This coastline is round. Could it be an island? Lu Ming speculated. Lu Ming, based on my experience, this should be an island. You're all tied to the same island. Dandan said. An island? Then if we rush out of the island, we might be able to see the others. Maybe we can find our way back. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he flew toward the sea. Boom! The raging waves slapped the shore and the strong winds swept across. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. He realized that the strong winds on the sea were extremely terrifying. They were like divine weapons that kept slashing at Lu Ming. Lu Ming had used his vital essence to protect himself, but his vital essence was being depleted. At this rate, Lu Ming's essential core would be depleted before he could fly far. Lu Ming had no choice but to fly back to the shore. I don't believe that the ocean around us is this violent. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and continued flying along the coastline. 10 days. Lu Ming had flown for a full 10 days. He estimated that he had circled half the island, but the ocean he saw was the same. It was extremely violent. This made Lu Ming rather speechless. Lu Ming was a little anxious. There were still 2.5 months before Mulan's wedding, but he had yet to find the way out. Lu Ming, all you can do now is cultivate in peace. Perhaps one day, an outsider will come to this island, and you'll be able to leave. Dandan said. I can only do this. Lu Ming sighed. No matter what, it was best to hint at his strength. Moreover, with his current cultivation, even if he could go out, he wouldn't be a match for the sacred constellation. Only by increasing his strength and going out by chance would he be able to fight the sacred constellation. After that, Lu Ming stopped at the seaside and entered the supreme shrine to comprehend the thunder concept in peace. Lu Ming's thunder will had already reached the limit of level 1 lower tier. After another 5 days, Lu Ming's thunder will had a breakthrough and reached level 1 upper tier. This was a threshold. The intent realm of level 1 upper tier was the symbol of a king tier who had reached the upper tier. First level complete thunder intent. Now, I'll use intent crystals to upgrade the other 2 intents. Lu Ming first took out a middle-grade wind-type esoteric crystal. Now that Lu Ming was rich and generous, he planned to break through with middle-grade profound meaning crystals. He crushed the middle-grade wind-type ultimacy crystal and closed his eyes to cultivate. 2 days later, Lu Ming opened his eyes. Strong winds were howling around him, forming wind blades. Level 1 wind concept was complete. Moreover, it was at the middle stage of the first level upper tier. The effects of middle-grade intent crystals were simply too powerful. Normally speaking, middle-rank intent crystals were used by Sea of Soul realm experts to cultivate and comprehend level 2 intent domains of heaven and earth. Naturally, it would have a great effect on level 1 intent domains of heaven and earth. This was also the reason why Lu Ming had the path understanding ancient tree. If an ordinary person used a middle-grade profound meaning crystal at the martial king realm, they would probably waste 70 to 80% of the middle-grade profound meaning crystal. No one would be so wasteful. However, Lu Ming had the path understanding ancient tree, so he had only wasted 10 to 20% of it. Now it's the fire concept. Lu Ming took out a middle-grade fire-type ultimacy crystal, crushed it, and began to comprehend it. 2 days later, his fire concept had also broken through to the middle stage of level 1 upper tier. The completion of 3 types of concepts had caused the power of Lu Ming's 3 types of concepts to reach a terrifying level. It had completely surpassed the peak of a single concept. Moreover, Lu Ming could now aim for the level of a king tier. A late-stage king tier. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with anticipation. With a wave of his hand, a pile of top-grade spiritual crystals appeared. There were a total of 200,000 pieces. With a shake of vital essence, all the supreme-grade spirit crystals exploded. The 9-dragon bloodline opened its mouth and absorbed all the energy of these spirit crystals. Very soon, 200,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals were refined and Lu Ming took out another 200,000 pieces. The vital essence in Lu Ming's body was getting more and more vigorous and powerful. It was about to break through to the 7th level of the martial king realm. Boom, boom, boom. The true essence in his body exploded like the ocean outside. Not enough, it's still not enough. When Lu Ming had refined 1.4 million pieces of top-grade spirit crystals, he realized that he was still lacking a lot. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and exploded 600,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals in one go. He devoured all of them and began to break through. 3 days passed by in a flash. 3 days later, Lu Ming suddenly let out a long howl. A terrifying aura burst out from his body and soared into the sky. If they were not in the Supreme Shrine, they would probably be able to stir up the wind and clouds in the sky. I've finally broken through to the 7th level of the martial king realm. Lu Ming laughed heartily. Now, he was finally standing on the same level as the Holy Star realm. Of course, he had already reached the peak of level 9 martial king a few months ago on the Holy Star. He was only 1 step away from the peak of king tier and could break through at any time. Lu Ming was still under a lot of pressure. But at least it was approaching quickly. With a single thought, Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine and appeared at the seaside. Boom! Lu Ming clenched his fist in the air and a long spear was condensed. He then whipped the spear at the vast sea. Chapter 574. 574 The others. The spear radiance turned into a 3,000-meter-long giant spear. It broke through the strong wind above the ocean and struck the surface of the ocean. In an instant, the 1,000-meter-high wave was crushed. A huge spear mark appeared in the ocean, and the seawater collapsed and split in two. It was as if the entire sea had been split in half by Lu Ming's spear. Boom! After a few breaths, a deafening roar came from the ocean. The giant wolf rolled over and covered the traces of the spear being pulled out. My combat strength is at least 5 times stronger than when I was at the peak of Level 6 Martial King realm. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Now, if he were to fight with the Palace Master of Thunder Palace, he was confident that he could kill the Palace Master of Thunder Palace with one shot without the help of the inscription. Now, I'll cultivate the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and the dragon god 3 absolutes in this ocean. With the 3 types of intent realms at full completion, he could cultivate the dragon god's 3 absolutes to the 5th level. When one's 3rd level will reach its peak, one would be able to cultivate the dragon god's 3 absolutes to the 6th level, the peak. Thereafter, Lu Ming focused on cultivating 2 types of martial arts techniques. In the blink of an eye, another 3 days passed. During this time, Dandan looked at the sea every day in a daze, as if she was thinking about something. What? On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating when he suddenly heard the sounds of fighting from afar. And the sounds of fighting were getting closer to the sea. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming's figure moved and flew in that direction. Dandan hurriedly followed. In front of them, there were 5 figures flying towards the sea. They were covered in blood and their faces were filled with fear. Among these 5 people, 3 of them were experts from the Xian family of the ancient barren city. They were all at the level of lower-tier king tiers. The other 2 people were the 2 protectors of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. One of them had an extremely powerful aura. He was actually a level 7 upper-tier king. The guardians of the Empyrean Divine Palace were usually at the lower tier of the peak Level 6 Martial King realm. It was obvious that this guardian had made a breakthrough in his cultivation during this period of time. However, his face was still filled with panic. Ha! You can't escape. Die. Behind them, there were dozens of corpse guards chasing and laughing. They were not in a hurry, like cats playing with mice. One of the corpse guards had reached the peak of Level 8 Martial King realm. After running for a while, they were almost at the seaside. The ocean is ahead. The 2 protectors from the Xian family and the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace were filled with despair. Let's see where you can run to now. A corpse guard laughed. Don't run anymore. All of you will die today. Obediently turn into our refined corpses. Didn't that palace master of your Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace already become our refined corpses? The corpse guard at the peak Level 8 Martial King realm sneered. Today, you're the ones who will die. Suddenly, a cold voice came from the direction of the sea. Everyone was stunned. They looked in the direction of the sea and saw a flash of light. The next moment, a young man in his 20s appeared. His eyes were as cold as a sharp sword. It was Lu Ming. Lu Ming, is that you? Run, you're not their match. A green-robed guardian shouted when he saw Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming stepped forward and faced the corpse guard of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Another brat who's here to die. A corpse guard at the peak of the 6th level Martial King realm sneered and controlled the 2 refined corpses to attack Lu Ming. Die! Lu Ming flicked his finger and 3 rays of spear radiance shot out, piercing the glabella of the corpse guard at the peak of Level 6 Martial King realm and 2 refined corpses. That corpse guard's eyes opened wide with a look of disbelief. He did not expect Lu Ming's spear to be so fast. He could not stop it at all. Brat, you're looking for death. The corpse guard at the peak Level 8 Martial King realm roared, his killing intent surging like the tide. The other corpse guards also surrounded Lu Ming. What do we do? The people of the Xian family and the 2 guardians stopped in the distance with complicated expressions. There are 2 upper-tier kings and 5 upper-tier refined corpses. Lu Ming is definitely no match for them. We're just going to die if we go. A protector said. That's right, let's take this opportunity to leave. A middle-aged man from the Xian family said. As for the others, their eyes flashed with hesitation. Let's go. We won't be able to escape once Lu Ming is dead. The middle-aged man from the Xian family urged. Good. Let's go. The others gritted their teeth. However, at this moment, a sudden change occurred. A huge flood dragon emerged from Lu Ming's body. It opened its mouth and sucked. Drops of blood essence flew out of the corpse guards' bodies and fell to the ground like rain. Only the two late-stage king-level corpse guards didn't die, but their faces were also pale. The Xian family and the two guardians were in disbelief. Damn it, you dare to kill my heavenly corpse sex people, you're courting death. The corpse guard at the peak level 8 Martial King realm roared and controlled the three refined corpses to charge at Lu Ming. That is, the palace master of earth. Lu Ming noticed that one of the refined corpses looked extremely familiar. It was clearly the palace master of earth. Haha, this is one of the palace masters of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. He was killed by our experts and I'll reward him by refining him into a refined corpse. Isn't he very strong? The corpse guard at level 8 Martial King realm sneered. Die! Lu Ming swept his long spear and the two level 8 Martial King refined corpses were sent flying like cannonballs for thousands of meters before they crashed to the ground. He took a step forward and the power of the 9 dragons' heaven stomping steps exploded. The other level 7 Martial King realm martial artist and his two level 7 refined corpses exploded. How could it be? The corpse guard at the peak level 8 Martial King realm shrieked in fear. Not far away, the 3 people and 2 guardians of the Xian family who were preparing to escape were dumbfounded as they watched the scene. Lu Ming had killed the corpse guards that had caused them to flee for their lives without any effort. He was unimaginably powerful. Gulu. The middle-aged man from the Xian family swallowed his saliva and broke out in a cold sweat. Don't come over. The corpse guard shrieked and controlled the refined corpse refined by the palace master of earth to stand in front of Lu Ming. At the same time, he ran for his life. Lu Ming took a step forward and his figure flashed past the palace master of earth. He appeared behind the corpse guard and thrust his long spear, piercing through the back of the corpse guard's waist and exiting from its dantian. True essence exploded, and the corpse guard's dantian exploded, its cultivation completely destroyed. With his cultivation destroyed, the body of the palace master of earth stopped in the air, not moving at all. Don't kill me! The corpse guard screamed and begged for mercy. Speak, where are the rest of you? Lu Ming asked. It's on a plane 100,000 miles ahead. I beg you, let me go. The corpse guard begged for mercy. Buzz! The long spear shook, and the corpse guard was torn into pieces. With a wave of his hand, dozens of storage rings flew into Lu Ming's hands and disappeared. Lu Ming, I didn't expect you to have grown to this extent after not seeing you for a while. At this moment, the 3 people from the Xian family and the 2 guardians flew over. One of the guardians said with a smile. That's right. I've lived for a few hundred years. Young hero Lu Ming is the strongest genius I've ever seen. The middle-aged man from the Xian family also smiled in a flattering manner. Chapter 575. 575 to kill you. Lu Ming nodded indifferently. He did not say much and flew to the corpse of the Hall Master of Earth. Although they were a distance away, Lu Ming still heard the discussion between the 3 people from the Xian family and the 2 guardians. These 5 people's characters were really not good. Lu Ming did not want to say more. The 5 of them exchanged glances and followed behind Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his palm and a surge of vital essence covered the body of the palace master of earth, eliminating all the aura and inscription marks left by the corpse refinement sect. The palace master of earth was now an ordinary corpse. Then, Lu Ming dug a hole nearby and buried the hall master of earth. Lu Ming, what are your plans from now on? Why don't you join us? He asked. One of the guardians said as he looked at Lu Ming with a hopeful look. Lu Ming's combat strength was too strong. If Lu Ming could be with them, they would be much safer. Okay, I'm going to the corpse guard gathering point to hunt corpse guards. Are you guys coming? There was a faint smile on Lu Ming's lips as he looked at the 3 people from the Xian family and the 2 guardians. Go to the gathering point of the corpse guards to kill them? Are you crazy? There are more than 300 corpse guards there, and 3 of them are level 9 Martial King Realm corpse guards. They're controlling the Flood Dragon's corpse. You're just going to die if you go there. The middle-aged man from the Xian family shouted. Oh, so you're not going? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Lu Ming, it's really too dangerous there. You'd better go somewhere else with us and see if you can find a way out. A protector said. If that's the case, then please leave. Lu Ming waved his hand. He didn't have a good impression of these people. Lu Ming, don't think that you can look down on others just because you have some abilities. I won't go to death with you. After the middle-aged man from the Xian family finished speaking, he turned around and left. The other 4 people's expressions changed and they followed the middle-aged man from the Xian family. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not care. Lu Ming cupped his fists at the Earth Temple Master's mound, then turned around and headed inland. 100,000 miles away, there was a plain. On it were huge coffins and corpse chi filled the air. This was the gathering point of the Heavenly Corpse Sect's corpse guards. Who's there? As soon as Lu Ming arrived, he was discovered. A corpse guard controlled 2 refined corpses to appear. The person who will kill you. An ice-cold voice sounded, and with a flick of his finger, a spear ray shot out, nailing the corpse guard to death. There's a sneak attack. A loud roar was heard, and the entire plain was in an uproar. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. The sound of the air being torn rang out as corpse guards and refined corpses flew out of the coffins one by one. In a short while, a few hundred corpse guards and even more refined corpses appeared in front of Lu Ming. A person? Why is he alone? You dare to ambush me alone? You're courting death. Attack and kill him. Some corpse guards shouted and controlled the refined corpses to pounce at Lu Ming. Lu Ming stood still in the void. With a wave of his hand, more than 10 spear gleams shot out. His speed was so fast that no one below the late stages of the King Realm could react in time. The sound of over a dozen sharp blades piercing into bodies sounded out, and over a dozen corpse guards were killed. 2 of them were even level 6 Martial King Realm experts. So strong. The other corpse guards were greatly shocked and couldn't help but retreat. Get out of the way. This person is a late-stage king tier. You guys are not his match. A shriveled voice sounded out, and an old corpse guard appeared. Beside him, there were 2 middle-aged corpse guards. Roar! With 2 roars, 2 giant demonic corpses appeared in front of the old corpse guard. In addition, there were 2 strange refined corpses. They wore armor and held long spears. They were different from the other refined corpses. However, they all exuded an extremely powerful aura. They were all refined corpses of the level 9 Martial King Realm. Further back, there were 2 ordinary refined corpses wrapped in chains. They also exuded a powerful aura of level 9 Martial King Realm. There were 3 level 9 Martial King Realm corpse guards and 6 level 9 Martial King Realm refined corpses. This could be said to be the peak power among the corpse guards attacking the ancient barren city this time. Everyone's here. Good, it saves me the trouble of looking for them one by one. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. Little guy, what big words. From your aura, I can tell that you've just broken through to the late king tier not long ago, and you're already saying that you're going to kill us? You're really overestimating yourself. Kill. The old corpse guard sneered. Then, a huge demonic corpse roared and pounced at Lu Ming. The demonic corpse's eyes were blood red, and its entire body was filled with a murderous aura. It pounced forward, bringing with it a strong gust of wind. The wind lightning spear appeared in his hand and swept out. A huge spear light appeared and surrounded the 3 heaven and earth essences. Bang! The huge demonic corpse looked like a doll as it was swept away by Lu Ming's spear. The surrounding corpse guards couldn't dodge in time and were sent flying by the demonic corpse's huge body. Some of the corpse guards directly exploded. So strong. All the corpse guards on the scene, including the 3 level 9 Martial King corpse guards, widened their eyes and looked dumbfounded. A Level 9 Martial King Realm demonic corpse was stronger than an ordinary refined corpse. It was impervious to swords and spears and had immense strength. However, it was easily swept away by Lu Ming's spear. It was too terrifying. "Let's attack together and kill this man." The old corpse guard roared. Roar! With a roar, the 3 Level 9 Martial King Realm corpse guards joined forces. The remaining 5 Level 9 Martial King Realm refined corpses pounced toward Lu Ming with shocking power. At the same time, some other corpse guards controlled the refined corpses to attack Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming let out a long roar, and his true essence rumbled. His aura soared to the sky, and the 9 dragon bloodline appeared. He opened his mouth and sucked, and instantly, more than 50 corpse guards nearby had their blood essence devoured and fell to the ground. At the same time, he brandished his spear like an invincible general. Bang! 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 The 5 Level 9 Martial King refined corpses were swept away by him. Now, Lu Ming's combat strength had completely surpassed Level 9 Martial King Realm and was approaching the peak of King Realm. Not good. He's controlling the Flood Dragon's corpse. The old corpse guard shrieked and quickly retreated with the other 2 Level 9 Martial King corpse guards. They formed a seal with their hands and corpse chi filled the air. Roar! A dragon's roar was heard, and the corpse of a huge flood dragon rushed out from the depths of the plain. The 3 Level 9 Martial King Realm corpse guards flew up to the head of the flood dragon's corpse and controlled it to attack Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming's 9 dragon bloodline burst out with a terrifying devouring power, killing another 50 corpse guards. Of course, Lu Ming did not let go of any storage rings. "You're looking for death." The old corpse guard roared angrily. The flood dragon corpse clawed at Lu Ming. The space seemed to be unable to withstand the pressure and started to shake violently. The air was compressed and exploded wherever the claw touched. "Let's see how strong he is." True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming exerted all his strength and thrust his spear. A 3-colored true dragon clashed with the flood dragon's corpse. With a shocking explosion, the force rolled in all directions. Some of the corpse guards nearby were directly torn apart by the force and died on the spot. The earth trembled and huge cracks appeared on the ground, spreading across the plain like a spider web. Chapter 576. 576 Three-Eyed Creature. The 3-colored true dragon was defeated. Lu Ming retreated 1,000 meters. His chi and blood churned, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. What powerful strength! When this flood dragon was alive, it was definitely a peak existence at the spiritual ocean tier. Lu Ming wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stared at the flood dragon's corpse with a grave expression. The flood dragon's corpse was extremely powerful and invulnerable. The 3 corpse guards didn't even use much of the flood dragon's strength, but that attack should have reached the peak tier king level. Previously, in the ancient desolate city, more than a dozen kings from the big cities had controlled it together, which was powerful and almost close to the spiritual ocean tier. Such a powerful refined corpse would only be able to display its true strength when it controlled more people. So strong. The 3 corpse guards on the flood dragon's corpse were also extremely shocked. Continue. The old corpse guard roared angrily and controlled the flood dragon's corpse to continue attacking Lu Ming. "Do you think I'll still go head-to-head with you?" Lu Ming's lips curled into a mocking smile. His figure flashed and he charged at the other corpse guards. The devouring power of the 9 dragons' bloodline erupted madly, and the corpse guard's blood essence was devoured one after another, dying here. Damn it! The flood dragon's corpse controlled by the 3 corpse guards could not catch up with Lu Ming's speed at all. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps. With one step, he traveled 10 miles in an instant. Large swaths of corpse guards were harvested by Lu Ming like wild grass. Before long, Lu Ming had killed more than 200 corpse guards. A total of over 300 corpse guards. How long had it been? More than 200 died. The remaining corpse guards cried out in alarm and scattered in all directions. Buzz! Suddenly, Lu Ming took 2 steps forward. In a flash, he appeared above the flood dragon's corpse and thrust his spear at a level 9 Martial King corpse guard. The corpse guard roared in shock and exploded out with corpse chi, forming dozens of corpse chi shields in front of him. However, it was useless. The spear radiance pierced through and the shield exploded. The head of the corpse guard also exploded like a watermelon. At this moment, the claws of the flood dragon's corpse reached out to grab Lu Ming. Lu Ming swept his spear horizontally and hit the claw of the flood dragon. He borrowed the force to retreat backward, a trace of blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. Not good, let's go. Hurry up and run. There were still 2 level 9 Martial King Realm corpse guards on the flood dragon's corpse. They were so shocked that they did not dare to fight Lu Ming. They controlled the flood dragon's corpse and chose a direction to escape in a hurry. The 3 of them were controlling the flood dragon's corpse, but Lu Ming had killed one of them. Now, there were only 2 of them left. The power of controlling the flood dragon's corpse was even weaker. They did not dare to fight Lu Ming anymore. If they did not escape, they would probably die. Dozens of corpse guards also followed the flood dragon corpse and fled in the direction of the ocean. Lu Ming's lips curled into a sneer. Those people were in a panic and actually ran in the direction of the sea. They were simply courting death. He was in no hurry to give chase. He used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and chased after the corpse guards in the other directions. After a while, Lu Ming killed dozens of corpse guards. He then chased in the direction of the sea. He used the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps, and his speed was extremely fast. Soon, he saw the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect who were fleeing. He's coming. Run, run. The old corpse guard's expression was very unsightly as he madly controlled the flood dragon's corpse to escape. Boom, boom, boom. Deafening rumbles of waves came from ahead. Ocean. The old corpse guard's expression changed drastically. He was similar to the other corpse guards. Charge, charge into the ocean. The old corpse guard roared in anger. They had the flood dragon's corpse and planned to charge into the sea to gamble. As long as they hid in the flood dragon's corpse, they might be able to survive in the sea. They charged towards the sea at top speed, but stopped when they reached the shore. The ship. They saw the ship. In the depths of the ocean, they saw 3 huge ships sailing toward them. Even Lu Ming stopped in his tracks, his eyes filled with shock. Did having a boat mean that they could leave this damn place? Lu Ming stopped his pursuit of the corpse guard. The 3 ships were heading in their direction at high speed. They were getting closer and closer. Lu Ming and the rest were more and more shocked. Those were no ordinary ships. They were clearly 3 warships, each of which was huge and all-shaped. The deck alone was more than 1,000 meters above the water. It was black in color and seemed to be made of a strange metal. There were some strange creatures carved on it that Lu Ming had never seen before. The terrifying waves and strong winds had no effect on the 3 warships. 3 battleships were riding the wind and waves. How we're saved? We can go out. Some corpse guards laughed wildly and rushed towards the seaside in ecstasy, getting closer and closer to the sea. Wrong, wrong. On Lu Ming's shoulder, Dandan's eyes were filled with suspicion as she mumbled to herself. What's wrong? If someone is here, it means we can leave this island. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with anticipation. No. I'm familiar with the auras of these 3 battleships. They're the auras of my enemies. Dandan muttered, as if she was trying hard to recall something. But he couldn't think of anything at the moment. Lu Ming, trust me. It's dangerous to retreat. Dandan said in a rare serious tone. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he muttered to himself. In the end, he retreated a few dozen miles and appeared on a cliff, looking into the distance. At this moment, the battleship was getting closer and closer. As it got closer, the terrifying pressure emitted by the battleship could be felt even more. The flood dragon's corpse was huge enough, But in front of this huge warship, it was like a worm. Boom, boom, boom. The waves were broken apart, and the three warships stopped dozens of miles away from the sea. Many corpse guards looked on with eager eyes. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. At this time, many figures flew out of the warships and appeared in the sky above the ocean. Who's that? Lu Ming's eyes suddenly narrowed, revealing a look of shock. Because the figures that rushed out of the warship were not human at all. Although they were in the form of humans, each of them was more than 2 meters tall. Their bodies were covered in black scales. In terms of body size, they were similar to the scaled demons in the scaled demon dimension that Lu Ming had seen before. What was different was that these figures had 2 sharp horns on their heads that emitted a sharp light. In the middle of their brows, there was a third eye. The general is right. There is indeed an abnormality on Sky Horizon Island. Some reptiles have appeared. A burly 3-eyed creature spoke. His words were exactly the same as Lu Ming's. How did these crawlers appear? Could they have come from the primordial realm? It's very possible. Amazing, really amazing. The worms of the primordial realm actually came to the heaven realm. Take them down and hand them to the general. You must ask them how they came here. Maybe you can find the entrance to the primordial realm. The other 3-eyed creatures chimed in. After saying that, dozens of 3-eyed creatures rushed to the shore. They waved their hands, and their claws suddenly enlarged and grabbed at the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect. So strong. Lu Ming's pupils contracted rapidly. Chapter 577. 577 The Heaven Realm. He discovered that every single one of those 3-eyed creatures was stronger than him. More than half of them were definitely peak-tier kings, and the other half were simply terrifying. Their auras were like the abyss, and they were many times stronger than peak-tier kings. Spiritual Ocean Tier. Those were definitely all peerless experts at the Spiritual Ocean Tier. The sudden appearance of so many Spiritual Ocean Tier elites was simply terrifying. Not good, let's go. At this moment, the expressions of the corpse guards of the Heavenly Corpse sect changed drastically. They screamed repeatedly and frantically fled backward. But where could he escape? A huge hand covered in scales came down and grabbed the Flood Dragon's corpse without any resistance. The 2 Lever 9 Martial King corpse guards on it were like little bugs. They were grabbed and thrown into a bottle by the 3-eyed creature. The bottle wasn't big, but the 200-meter-long flood dragon was thrown in. Stop. Let's talk this out. We are disciples of the Heavenly Corpse sect. A corpse guard shouted. What Heavenly Corpse sect? A bunch of pathetic primordial realm insects. The primordial realm will be conquered by my race sooner or later. A tall 3-eyed creature laughed loudly. He grabbed with his hand, and a few corpse guards were caught and thrown into a bottle. Let's go. Lu Ming did not hesitate. He turned and ran. If they were caught by these living beings, they would definitely not have a good ending. Lu Ming's heart sank. Lu Ming had obtained some information from the conversation between the few 3-eyed creatures. Heaven realm? The primordial realm. Could it be that this place belonged to the heaven realm? What was heaven? Wasn't it the world he came from? Then how could he go back? What were these 3-eyed creatures? Lu Ming had many doubts in his heart, but he could only escape. If he was caught by the other party, he would definitely not have a good ending. It looks like there are many primordial realm reptiles on this deserted island. Let's split up and capture all of them, not leaving a single one alive. A 3-eyed creature with a terrifying aura instructed. Yes. The other 3-eyed creatures acknowledged the order. At this time, the dozens of corpse guards had already been captured, and the dozens of 3-eyed creatures scattered and flew towards the island. Not only that, dozens of 3-eyed creatures flew out of a warship and into the island. Boom, boom, boom. A 3-eyed creature was flying behind Lu Ming at an extreme speed. It was so fast that the space trembled. However, he did not notice Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not fly in the air. Instead, he concealed his aura and continued to fly close to the ground. I can see you. The three-eyed creature behind him let out a loud roar and struck out with its palm. A huge palm print blasted not far from Lu Ming's right. Go, quickly go. Instantly, a few horrified roars came from that place. 5 figures appeared and fled in a frenzy. Yes, it's them. The 5 figures were the 3 people from the Xian family and the 2 guardians from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. Obviously, the 5 of them had also seen Lu Ming. Lu Ming, help, help. The middle-aged man from the Xian family roared and moved closer to Lu Ming. Nest. Lu Ming roared in his heart. The other party wanted to drag him down in order to survive. Initially, the three-eyed creature did not notice Lu Ming. However, he was discovered. Damn it. Lu Ming roared in anger and soared into the sky. He used the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps and his speed increased dramatically. But this way, the risk of being exposed was also greatly increased. Lu Ming, you left me in the lurch. You'll die a horrible death. The middle-aged man from the Xian family shouted in despair when he saw Lu Ming leaving. You're so noisy. A huge hand grabbed the 5 of them and threw them into a bottle. Interesting reptile, you're quite fast. Let's see if you can escape from my palm. A cold glint flashed across the three-eyed creature's eyes as it chased after Lu Ming. Its speed was terrifyingly fast, not slower than Lu Ming's. Lu Ming, hurry up. The other party is catching up. Dandan urged. I know. Don't be noisy. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and used the 9 dragons' heaven stomping steps to its maximum. He took 3 steps in a row and his speed was unbelievably fast. However, the three-eyed creature was still following closely behind. That three-eyed creature is extremely powerful. Judging from its aura, it's infinitely close to the spiritual ocean tier. I'm definitely not its match. Once I'm entangled by it, I'll be dead when the other three-eyed creatures come. Lu Ming's mind was racing. Dandan, aren't you the reincarnation of a peerless expert? Is there any way? Lu Ming could only focus his attention on Dandan. Of course there's a way. I'll now inscribe an inscription formation on your body to conceal your aura. This way, your aura will be completely concealed, and the other party won't be able to sense you at all. Then, you can find a place to hide, and I'll inscribe an inscription formation on you to isolate your aura. Dandan rolled her eyes and said, Then hurry up. Lu Ming shouted. Immediately after, Dandan waved its claws and began to inscribe. Lu Ming continued to chase and escape. Ha, Utanbu, you can't even catch up to a worm like you. Do you want me to help you? Right at this moment, a voice rang out from nearby, and another three-eyed creature appeared. There's no need for you to interfere. I'm enough. The three-eyed creature that was chasing after Lu Ming shouted. Oh, then I'll leave it to you. The other three-eyed creature laughed and flew off in another direction. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief and continued to flee. Not long after, they had flown a distance of several 100,000 li. Dandan, why aren't you done yet? Lu Ming asked. Cough cough, I just failed. Hold on a little longer. Dandan coughed a few times in embarrassment. Fuck. Lu Ming was extremely speechless. Along the way, Dandan had already failed 5 times. Lu Ming seriously doubted whether Dandan could do it. Was she fooling him? Hey, kid, what's with your expression? Are you doubting me? I'm one of the top 10 war beasts, with unparalleled combat strength. Inscriptions, alchemy, refining, there's nothing I don't know, and you dare to doubt me? If I hadn't been injured back then, I could have killed these ants with a single breath. Dandan shouted. I believe you, I believe you. Hurry up. Lu Ming was speechless. He could only grit his teeth and run. After a short while. All right, I've succeeded. Dandan shouted. Lu Ming's body was covered with lines of inscriptions, which were extremely beautiful. Is it really useful? Lu Ming expressed his doubts. Nonsense, of course it's useful. You can't feel it yourself, but others definitely can't feel the slightest bit of your chi, not even the spiritual ocean tier, unless you've surpassed the spiritual ocean tier. Dandan said with confidence. All right, I'll believe you. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and continued flying. Soon, a lake appeared in front of him. Without thinking, Lu Ming plunged into the lake. The lake was very deep, reaching a depth of 1,000 meters. After Lu Ming rushed into the lake, he descended to the bottom of the lake at a rapid speed. A long spear condensed in his hand and spun rapidly, like a drill, drilling into the bottom of the lake. A hole was dug out of the bottom of the lake as if it was tofu. Lu Ming rushed in. Chapter 578. 578 Ocean of Intent Crystals. As soon as Lu Ming rushed into the cave, his essential core burst forth. The cave entrance behind him collapsed and was covered by the mud at the bottom of the lake. There was no way to see the entrance at all. Lu Ming had rushed to the bottom of the lake to block the three-eyed creature's vision with the lake water. Boom! Not long after Lu Ming went to the bottom of the lake, the three-eyed creature arrived. It rushed to the bottom of the lake, causing huge waves. However, when he rushed to the bottom of the lake, he did not find any trace of Lu Ming. He could not even sense a trace of his aura. Damn it! The three-eyed creature roared in anger. Its entire body emitted an energy that was completely different from true essence. It wreaked havoc at the bottom of the lake without any restraint. The water in the lake was stirred up, and countless members of the water race were killed. Their blood dyed the water red. Under the ground, Lu Ming activated his essential core and spun the long spear, drilling down continuously. Boom, boom, boom. Deafening rumbles came from above. Lu Ming knew that the three-eyed creature had arrived. Lu Ming could not be bothered with him. He went down at full speed. He was very fast. Not long after, he had gone down a few hundred meters. He then changed his direction and went forward parallel to the ground. After digging for a few hundred miles, he dug a cave underground. Lu Ming planned to stay there temporarily. Kid, my inscription formation is pretty good, right? Hee. Now I'll carve a formation around this cave. I guarantee that even if they search the entire island, they won't be able to find you. Dandan was extremely proud. Then he started to inscribe inscriptions around the cave. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief, frowning. This time, it was a good thing that it wasn't a spiritual ocean tier three-eyed creature chasing after him. Otherwise, he definitely wouldn't be able to escape. She had thought that she had seen hope of getting out, but now, she was in despair. Also, how is Xianxiang? With her cultivation base, it was likely that she would be in grave danger if she landed on this deserted island. Grandmaster Xian, it seems like I have to let you down. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. After that, Lu Ming cast aside all other thoughts and circulated the true war dragon technique to begin healing his injuries. Earlier, he had exchanged a few blows with the flood dragon's corpse and had suffered some minor injuries. About half an hour later, Lu Ming's injuries had fully recovered. Kid, the inscription formation has been carved, you can rest assured. Dandan appeared on Lu Ming's shoulder and said, Dandan, you said that you were familiar with these creatures. Think about it again. Do you have any clues? Lu Ming said. Now, he could only place his hopes on the unreliable little turtle. Sigh, I was injured that year and had problems with my memory. I can't remember much, but I vaguely remember that they were my enemies. The place I lived should be in this realm, the Heaven Realm. Dandan frowned and pondered. Heaven Realm? What kind of place is Heaven Realm? Could it be a plane? Lu Ming said. Of course not. I vaguely remember that the Heaven Realm should be a main world, and the world you're in should be called the Primordial Realm, which is also a main world. The two worlds are twin worlds, and the two worlds complement each other. Heaven Realm? The Primordial Realm? Twin world? Lu Ming was confused. Could it be that the so-called Heaven's Gate in my world is the gate that leads to this world? Lu Ming made a guess. He finally knew why Dandan had spurted out from the Heaven's Gate. Sigh, I don't remember much either. Don't ask me any more. When I remember, I'll naturally tell you. For now, you should hide here and cultivate. Dandan said. Lu Ming nodded. This was the only way for now. After that, Lu Ming entered the Supreme Shrine. With a wave of his hand, a large pile of storage rings appeared beside him. There were more than 200 of them. Lu Ming had not counted the storage rings that he had obtained during this period of time. Since he had time now, he decided to take a look. How many intent crystals could there be in so many storage rings? Lu Ming was filled with anticipation. He started to count them one by one. This inventory took more than a day to sort out. Lu Ming was completely dumbfounded. There were too many intent crystals. Lu Ming counted. There were a total of 18 types of esoteric crystals. The total number was 230,000 pieces. In addition to the 30,000 pieces he had previously, he had a total of 260,000 pieces. 260,000 intent crystals. What kind of concept was that? Lu Ming's heart trembled. Moreover, Lu Ming realized that some people had very few esoteric crystals in their storage rings while others had a lot. And NBSP, this was normal. This island couldn't be filled with intent crystals everywhere. Some places had more, while others didn't. The area that Lu Ming had passed by previously was most likely more populated. There were more than 260,000 pieces of esoteric crystals. Lu Ming estimated that more than half of the esoteric crystals on the entire island had fallen into his pocket. And NBSP, among them, there were 15,000 wind, fire, and lightning intent crystals each. He also had around 20 pieces of each of the 3 middle-grade intent crystals. With so many esoteric crystals, it would be enough for Lu Ming to use for a period of time. In addition, there were more than 10 million supreme spiritual crystals. During this period of time, many people's mentalities had improved, and they must have refined many supreme spiritual crystals. Otherwise, there would be more supreme spiritual crystals. As for the other things, there were even more, piling up like a mountain. With so many intent crystals, I don't have to worry about wind and fire intent. It won't be a problem for me to cultivate it to the great circle of level 1, but thunder intent will be a problem. Lu Ming frowned and pondered. The thunder cauldron would devour the intent tendrils of the lightning-type profound meaning crystals every time. This was a huge headache for Lu Ming. Otherwise, with so many resources at his disposal, he could have become a peak-tier king in a short time. Now, Lu Ming could only focus on comprehending the thunder mentality. As long as he could comprehend the thunder mentality, his cultivation would improve rapidly. After that, his mind sank into his sea of consciousness and Lu Ming began to fully comprehend the thunder concept. Time flew by like the wind. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In the past month, one could often hear rumbles coming from the ground. The three-eyed creatures hadn't left. In a month's time, Lu Ming had been fully focused on comprehending the thunder concept, and his progress was terrifying. He had cultivated for a month, which was equivalent to an ordinary person cultivating for nearly 10 years. After such a long period of time, Lu Ming managed to comprehend the thunder concept to the peak of level 1 upper tier in one go. He was only one step away from the great circle of the first rank. However, this step was not so easy to break through. Lu Ming stopped when he reached this point in his comprehension of the thunder concept. He started to use the esoteric crystals to attack the wind and fire concepts. Lu Ming directly used middle-grade profound meaning crystals. And NBSP, 7 days later he had used 2 middle-grade intent crystals each, and his wind and fire intents had also reached the great circle of level 1. Now, I'll start to improve my cultivation. Lu Ming waved his hand and a large number of top-grade spiritual crystals appeared. He began to use the top-grade spiritual crystals to improve his cultivation. The amount of spiritual crystals required to reach level 7 Martial King realm was even more terrifying. It would take 800,000 pieces to reach the next level. He had spent 2 4 million top-grade spiritual crystals to reach the peak of Level 7 Martial King Realm, and another 2 million top-grade spiritual crystals to break through to Level 8 Martial King Realm. Just like that, Lu Ming continued to improve. The speed of his improvement was enough to scare other martial artists to death. In half a month's time, Lu Ming had used up all the best spiritual crystals he had. His cultivation had finally advanced to the peak of the Level 9 Martial King Realm. He was only one step away from peak tier King tier. This cultivation was no weaker than that of the Holy Star. Chapter 579. 579 The Reappearance of the Ancient Desolate City. Following that, Lu Ming spent another 10 days to successfully cultivate the 5th stage of the Dragon God's 3 Absolutes. Lu Ming's combat strength had reached its peak. At this moment, Lu Ming stopped cultivating. It was because he had been feeling more and more anxious recently and he could not continue cultivating. There were only about 10 days left until the day of Mu Lan's wedding with the sacred constellation. Lu Ming could not calm down. No, I still have to find a way out. I can't just be trapped here. Lu Ming pondered and decided to go out and investigate. With his current battle prowess, as long as he didn't run into a sea of Soul Realm expert, he would definitely have no problem escaping. Brat, you're finally going out. After all this time of thinking, I've finally thought of a possible way to get out. Dandan lay on Lu Ming's shoulder, crossed her legs, and said leisurely, "Think of a way to get out." But wait. Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. When you guys came here, it should be because of the Desolation Ancient City. Then, you can only rely on the Desolation Ancient City to get out. You just need to find the Desolation Ancient City and then I will study it. Perhaps I can find the way out. Dandan explained. Ancient Desolate City? Lu Ming's eyes lit up, but he then frowned. Although the ancient barren city has also entered this world, I wonder where it landed? It should be on this island. It's up to you to find it. Dandan said. All right. Now, he could only rely on this method. A long spear condensed in Lu Ming's hands. The long spear spun, burrowed into the ground, and shot upward. After a moment, Lu Ming emerged from the ground. Lu Ming restrained his aura and observed his surroundings. They gathered together, but there was no movement. Could it be that the three-eyed creature has already left? Lu Ming pondered and was about to soar into the sky. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. He retracted his aura and hid himself. In the sky, a tall figure was flying toward the island at high speed. Wasn't that the three-eyed creature? The three-eyed creature still hadn't left. The three-eyed creature had not left. Lu Ming's search for the ancient Desolation City would be a little difficult. At this moment, a few more figures flew over from the distance. It was also a three-eyed creature. Quick, the leader has found an ancient city in the depths of the island. It's very likely to be related to the appearance of those reptiles here. Let's hurry over. Hurry up. A few voices could be heard from the sky. Lu Ming's expression changed. Ancient city? Oh no, could it be that the three-eyed creature has found the ancient desolate city? Lu Ming's expression was extremely ugly. If the ancient barren city was discovered by the three-eyed creature, he would be in trouble. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and used his movement technique. He stuck close to the ground and followed the three-eyed creature at top speed. They flew at an extremely fast speed. In one day, they had covered a distance of 2 million miles. A huge forest appeared in front of them. It's that mountain forest. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that the forest in front of him was the same forest that he had appeared in when he first entered. Lu Ming became more careful and restrained his aura. This was because there were extremely powerful demonic beasts in this mountain forest. However, Lu Ming did not encounter any powerful demonic beasts along the way. The ones he encountered were all extremely weak. Who's that? Not long after, Lu Ming passed by a place and discovered that the place was in a mess. Ancient trees had collapsed, and there were huge potholes everywhere. He could even see huge palm prints on the ground. There were still some bloodstains on the ground. Could it be that the three-eyed creature has already killed all the powerful demonic beasts here? Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Sure enough, along the way, they could see some potholes from time to time, all of which were traces of a great battle. After traveling for half a day, the three-eyed creatures suddenly stopped. Lu Ming could sense that there were waves of terrifying and powerful auras coming from not far ahead. There were at least 200 shares. There were dozens of auras that were extremely terrifying and unfathomable like the ocean. Lu Ming did not dare to move forward and retreated 100 miles. Dandan, help me inscribe the inscription that conceals my aura. Lu Ming said. Alright, I'll help you again. But in the future, if you encounter high-grade spiritual herbs or natural treasures, don't forget me. I need to recover. Dandan took the opportunity to bid. Don't be so long-winded. Hurry up or I'll throw you out. Lu Ming glanced at Dandan and threatened her. Kid, you're ruthless. Dandan gritted her teeth. In the end, she had no choice but to help Lu Ming inscribe inscriptions while cursing. After 3 failed attempts, he finally succeeded. Runes appeared on Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming rushed to the sky and hid in a cloud, looking into the distance. In front of them was a huge, pitch-black ancient city that sat in the middle of the forest. Ancient Barren City, it's really the ancient Barren City. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. However, the current barren ancient city was different from before. Now, the surroundings of the barren ancient city were filled with light. A layer of light barrier enveloped the barren ancient city. And around the ancient desolate city, there were many tall figures. There were more than 200 tall figures, all three-eyed creatures. The weakest of the 200 three-eyed creatures was equivalent to a peak-tier king. When they gathered together, their aura was extremely terrifying. Alright, we're almost there. Let's attack together and break the light shield on the city. A voice rang out. Yes, leader. The other three-eyed creatures all responded. Boom, boom. Following that, terrifying auras burst forth. Over 200 three-eyed creatures emitted terrifying black light from their bodies. All sorts of weapons appeared, and terrifying attacks bombarded the light shield of the ancient barren city. Boom, boom. More than 200 three-eyed creatures attacked at the same time. The scene was extremely shocking. The entire world was boiling as it was completely submerged by the powerful attacks. However, the light shield was able to withstand it. It rumbled continuously and rippled like water, but it was indeed able to withstand it and was not broken. Continue. With a loud roar, the three-eyed creature once again launched a frenzied attack. Wave after wave of attacks landed on the light shield, causing it to shake more and more violently, as if it would collapse at any time. Use the divine eyes to attack. The voice gave another order. Following that, Lu Ming saw that the third eye of each three-eyed creature was emitting a dazzling light. They shot out beams of light, which were like divine swords that bombarded the light shield. Bang! The light shield seemed to finally be overwhelmed and collapsed with a loud bang. Ha, we've finally broken through. Let's rush in and see what the secret is. A three-eyed creature laughed and strode into the ancient desolate city. But just as he rushed into the ancient desolate city, a look of horror appeared on his face. With a scream, his burly body actually exploded. The other three-eyed creatures who were about to charge in were all shocked. What's going on? Many three-eyed creatures stopped in their tracks, bewildered. Who's in there? The bulliest three-eyed creature roared as he stared coldly at the ancient barren city. Chapter 580. 580 The Mysterious Expert. AI. At this moment, a sigh suddenly came from the ancient desolate city. This sigh was filled with desolation and helplessness. It seemed to have come from ancient times and was extremely lonely. I can't believe that after so many years, your Divine Eye clan is still in the Heaven Realm. Has the Heaven Realm really been defeated? A long sigh came from the ancient desolate city again. Who is it? You know quite a lot. Let me tell you, the Heaven Realm is already completely under the control of the Divine Eye clan. Only a few people are putting up a stubborn resistance. Very soon, the Divine Eye clan will be able to open up the entrance to the primordial realm. By then, both the Heaven and the Yuan world will be under the control of the Divine Eye clan. The leader of the three-eyed creature said. In the ancient desolate city, the voice fell silent and did not speak for a long time. Pretending to be mysterious, charge in. The three-eyed creature's leader roared. Immediately, dozens of three-eyed creatures charged into the ancient desolate city. Buzz! At this moment, a sword cry was heard. A beam of sword chi flashed out of the desolate ancient tomb. Dozens of three-eyed creatures were cut in half, including two powerful spiritual ocean tier beings. This time, the three-eyed creature's expression changed drastically again. Pada! Pada! From within the desolate ancient tomb came the sound of deep footsteps. The sound was not loud, but it strangely spread far and wide. Then, three figures walked out of the desolate ancient tomb. Now, Lu Ming's eyesight was extremely good. He could see clearly even from hundreds of miles away. At that moment, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly narrowed. Xian Xiang, Xian Feng. Among the three people who walked out, Lu Ming actually saw Xian Xiang and Xian Feng. Xian Xiang and Xian Feng had been in the desolate ancient tomb all this time. What was going on? In front of Xian Xiang and Xian Feng, there was a middle-aged man with disheveled hair. He was extremely handsome, but he seemed to have experienced many vicissitudes of life. The clothes he was wearing were extremely strange, and they were definitely not what was popular now. Who are you? The three-eyed creature's leader roared. He's just a lucky person who didn't die. The middle-aged man let out a soft sigh. He then looked around and said, Since I've encountered you, consider it your bad luck. I'll send you on your way. You're talking big. Let's attack together. The three-eyed creature's leader roared. Following that, all of the three-eyed creature's third eyes lit up and shot out beams of divine light that pierced through the middle-aged man. The leader of the three-eyed creatures was especially powerful. It was unimaginably powerful, and the divine light it shot out directly pierced a huge hole in the space. Buzz! In the next moment, the sound of a sword rang out. The middle-aged man didn't move. His eyes lit up and a sword light flew out from his right eye, sweeping in all directions. Poochie! All of the three-eyed creatures around the ancient desolate city were cut in half by a single blade, as if they were nothing more than grass. Including the leader, he was killed with a single sword strike. In the clouds far away, Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Heavens, this was too powerful. Who is this middle-aged man? At this moment, the middle-aged man looked in Lu Ming's direction and said indifferently, Little guy, have you seen enough? If you've seen enough, come out. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. He glanced at Dandan and said, Your inscription is useless. Nonsense. That person is not simple at all. Why do I find him so familiar? I can't remember. Dandan muttered. Lu Ming ignored Dandan and flew toward the ancient barren city. Lord Lu Ming. When Xian Xiang saw Lu Ming, she was ecstatic. Lu Ming. Xian Feng's eyes flashed with surprise. Ah, Xian Xiang, brother Xian Feng, I didn't expect to meet you here. Who is this senior? Lu Ming flew to the front of Xian Xiang and the other two and cupped his fists at the middle-aged man. Lord Lu Ming, it's great that you're fine. This person is the ancestor of the Xian family. No, it should be the ancestor of the Xian family. The Xian family was founded by integrating this senior's blood essence. Xian Xiang hurriedly explained. I see. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Swish! At this moment, the middle-aged man suddenly appeared in front of Lu Ming. His eyes were like the stars in the universe as he fixed his gaze on Dandan. "Oh my God, what are you doing? I'm the head of the top 10 war beasts, unparalleled in the world. Don't you dare have any ideas about me." Seeing that the middle-aged man was staring at it, Dandan was so frightened that it squalled. Its 4 claws clung tightly to Lu Ming's neck, and its head shrank into its turtle shell. I didn't expect this. The middle-aged man sighed and looked at Lu Ming. His gaze seemed to be able to see through everything. "There's also the bloodline of the 9 dragons. This little fellow's luck is not shallow." The middle-aged man sighed. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. He was extremely shocked. The middle-aged man had actually recognized his 9-dragon bloodline with a single glance. Didn't the Supreme Master of the 9 Suns help him seal it? From the aura, wasn't it impossible to tell that he had the bloodline of the 9 dragons? This person was actually able to see through it with a single glance. "Little guy, don't be nervous. Although the bloodline of the 9 dragons is rare, it's useless to me." The middle-aged man smiled. "Lord Lu Ming, the Patriarch is repairing a teleportation array and is preparing to return to the primordial realm. You came at the right time. Let's go back together." Xian Xiang walked over and said, "We can go back." Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he was overjoyed. That's right. There was originally a teleportation array in the desolate ancient tomb, but it was destroyed. During this period of time, the old ancestor has been repairing it. Xian Xiang said, "You guys wait for me here. There are a few ants, I'll go and deal with them." The middle-aged man said. As soon as he finished speaking, he disappeared. Lu Ming was right beside him, but he did not sense how the middle-aged man disappeared. It was as if the middle-aged man was not there at all. But the next moment, the middle-aged man suddenly appeared again. From start to finish, it had not even been 2 breaths. "It's been settled. Come with me." Then he walked towards the desolate ancient tomb. This is too fast." Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Lu Ming guessed that the middle-aged man must have gone to deal with the battleships. However, the speed was too terrifying. "Lord Lu Ming, let's go." Xian Xiang pulled Lu Ming and walked towards the desolate ancient tomb. Xian Feng did not say anything and followed him in. After entering the tomb of the ancients, the door closed. The desolate ancient tomb was huge and spacious, like a hall. In the hall, there was only one bronze coffin that was open. Behind the bronze coffin, there was a small altar. The middle-aged man came to the side of the altar and formed a seal with his hands. Runes entered the altar. "Lord Lu Ming, the teleportation array will be repaired in a day. Let's wait for a while." Xian Xiang said. "Good. Xuanxiang, have you been here all this time?" Lu Ming asked curiously. Chapter 581. 581 Leaving, Hong Domain. Many people from the Xian family had come in, so why were only Xian Xiang and Xian Feng here? Lu Ming was very curious. "Yes, I fainted after I was sucked into the door. When I woke up, I was here with brother Xian Feng," Xian Xiang said. Xian Xiang seemed to have noticed the curiosity in Lu Ming's eyes and explained, "The Patriarch said that brother Xian Feng and I have the thickest bloodline and have inherited the most of the Patriarch's bloodline. So, the Patriarch saved us and taught us cultivation." Lu Ming had a sudden realization. So that was the case. "Oh right, Lord Lu Ming, how's my father?" Xian Xiang suddenly asked, looking at Lu Ming with hope. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. As expected, Xian Xiang still asked. For a moment, Lu Ming did not know how to phrase his words. After a moment of silence, he decided to speak frankly. "Grandmaster Xian has fallen." Then, the storage ring that Xian Long gave him before he died appeared in his hand. He said, "Grandmaster Xian asked me to pass this to you before she died." "Father!" Xian Xiang let out a sad cry as tears flowed down her face. When she was taken away and saw Xian Long being severely injured, she was already prepared. However, after she confirmed it, She was still very sad and couldn't stop crying. Lu Ming did not know what to say and could only stand at the side stupidly. The Heavenly Corpse sect, they really deserve to die. Let's go. Xian Feng walked over, clenched his fists and roared. After a while, Xian Xiang stopped crying and said, Big brother Xian Feng is right. One day, I will flatten the Sky Corpse sect. Lu Ming looked at Xian Xiang and Xian Feng. The Heavenly Corpse sect was so huge that it could compete with the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. It was easier said than done to flatten it. However, with the middle-aged man's guidance, it might be possible for Xian Feng and Xian Xiang. Lu Ming, Xian Xiang, and Xian Feng started chatting immediately. Xian Xiang and Xian Feng had learned from the middle-aged man that this was the Heaven Realm, and their realm was called the Primordial Realm. Lu Ming wanted to ask for more information, but Xian Xiang and Xian Feng shook their heads and did not know. The middle-aged man did not tell them more. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. Swish! On the second day, the altar suddenly shone with an extremely dazzling light. All right, the teleportation array has been preliminarily fixed. It should be enough to teleport the four of us back to the primordial realm. However, inter-realm teleportation is extremely difficult. This teleportation formation was set up by the most powerful human beings in ancient times. It was destroyed after a great war. Although it has been repaired, it can only be used once. After that, it will self-destruct. Also, even if we teleport to the primordial realm, the chances of returning to the Tianxian region are very small. We will most likely be teleported to other places. Moreover, due to the instability, we will most likely be separated. The middle-aged man explained. What? I can't return to the Tianxian region. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. There were still about 10 days before Mulan and the sacred constellation's wedding. If they were to be teleported to another large region, how would they be able to make it back? Although there was an inter-province transportation formation in every region, they might not be able to get there in time. Lord Lu Ming, are you rushing back to the Tianxian region? Xian Xiang asked. That's right, I do have something important to do. Lu Ming said. All right, I'll try my best to adjust the direction, but as for where we'll be teleported to, that'll depend on luck. Let's go up the altar together. The middle-aged man said. Everyone ascended the altar together. The middle-aged man exuded a wondrous aura that gushed into the altar. Buzz! The altar trembled violently and gave off a bright light. Then, a vortex appeared above everyone's head. At the next moment, a powerful force acted on Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's vision turned black and he felt as if he had entered an endless darkness. After Lu Ming and the rest were teleported away, the altar exploded with a bang and turned into dust. The Hong domain was located in the west of the Tianxian region, separated from the Tianxian region by 16 large domains. The Great Domain was extremely vast, 7 or 8 times the size of the Tianxian region. It was filled with geniuses and experts, at least 10 times stronger than the Tianxian region. Among the hundreds of big regions in the East continent, it could be ranked above average. The Hong domain was also a large domain under the jurisdiction of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. In a remote mountain in the Great Domain, there was an ancient site. At this moment, a dozen young men were exploring the site. The dozen or so young men all looked to be in their 20s. Their cultivation levels were extremely high, and each of them was at least at the level 6 Martial King realm. 5 or 6 of them had even reached the late stages of the King tier. The leader was a young man in a blue robe. He had a strong aura and was a level 9 upper tier king. At this moment, they were fighting a group of khaki-colored puppets. Quick, this is the relic left behind by the puppet sect, an ancient sect. Let's get rid of these burly figures and open the last door. The treasures of the puppet sect must be behind the last door. We can't let that bitch flying snow get ahead of us. The blue-robed youth shouted. In front of them, there was a cliff. On the cliff, there was a stone door. Their goal was behind the stone door. Bang! Bang! One by one, the yellow puppets were destroyed by them, turning into yellow stones. Roar! However, a large group of khaki-colored puppets rushed out from all directions. Damn it, go to hell! The blue-robed young man shouted coldly. His hand glowed, and a scroll appeared. He opened the scroll, and on it was a drawing of a combat sword. After the blue-robed young man injected his vital essence, the scroll emitted a dazzling light. Endless sword chi shot out from the scroll and attacked the puppets. A large number of puppets were destroyed. Lu Ming fell into the darkness. He did not know how long had passed when suddenly, a hazy light pierced into his eyes. Lu Ming opened his eyes and was slightly stunned. He found that he was in an underground cave. The walls of the underground cave were inlaid with luminous stones that gave off a hazy light. There was an ancient stone platform under his feet, and there were inscriptions on it. Where is this? How did I teleport here? Lu Ming's mind whirred and he started to look around. The underground cave was empty. It seemed that no one had been here for a long time. There's a stone door there. Lu Ming saw a stone door on one of the walls at a glance. Lu Ming walked over and gave the stone door a hard push, but it did not budge. There should be a switch. Immediately, Lu Ming started to search the area. At this time, the blue-robed young man and the others had already defeated all the yellow puppets. Hurry up, open that stone door. We have to get there before that bitch, flying snow. The blue-robed youth called out. After saying this, he rushed to the stone door and gave it a hard push, but it didn't move at all. What's going on? It can't be opened. Let's attack together and smash this stone door. The blue-robed youth called out. Kaka! At that moment, the stone door moved and opened automatically. What made the blue-robed young man dumbfounded was that a young man actually walked out of the stone door. Chapter 582. 582 Flying Snow. The young man who appeared from the stone door was Lu Ming. Lu Ming was also a little stunned. He did not expect to see more than 10 young men staring at him with wide eyes when the stone door opened. Cough, cough, excuse me, excuse me. Lu Ming coughed a few times and was about to walk out. Wait a minute, kid, who are you? He asked. The blue-robed young man in the lead shouted coldly and glared at Lu Ming with hostility. I'm Lu Ming. May I know what this place is? Which region is it in? Lu Ming cupped his fists and said politely. Since he had just arrived, Lu Ming wanted to find someone to inquire about the situation. He prayed silently in his heart, hoping that it would be in the Tianxian region. Even if it was not in the Tianxian region, it would be best if it was in a large region near the Tianxian region. The blue-robed young man's eyes turned even colder as he said, Kid, do you think I'm an idiot? Stop talking nonsense and hand over all the treasures you've obtained inside. Treasure? What kind of treasure? Lu Ming was stunned. Don't play dumb with me. Hand over your storage ring and let me check it. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving here today. The blue-robed youth said in a cold voice. Lu Ming furrowed his brows and said, I didn't take any treasures, and there's nothing inside. Now, move aside, I'm leaving. Brat, you're asking for it the hard way. Young Master Qin tried to negotiate with you, but you're always hesitating. Are you looking for death? I'll give you 3 breaths of time to hand over your storage ring. Beside the blue-robed young man, a skinny young man took a step forward and shouted. Get lost. Lu Ming's eyes widened. There seemed to be a flash of lightning and a storm in his eyes. The skinny young man's expression changed drastically, and he couldn't help but take 3 steps back. Lu Ming sneered and strode forward. You're looking for death. The skinny young man reacted. He was actually forced to retreat by Lu Ming's glare. He immediately felt embarrassed. He shouted angrily and clawed at Lu Ming's throat. The skinny young man was a king tier at the peak of Lever's 7 Martial King realm. He was extremely powerful and would definitely be a top genius in Tianxian City. However, he had encountered Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming lifted his leg and stomped. This kick contained the power of the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. The skinny young man screamed and his body flew far away. He fell flat on his face and couldn't get up for a while. Little brat, you have some strength. No wonder you were able to break into the core area of the puppet sect. I've never seen you in Hong City before. Which power are you from? How dare you hit the genius of my Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace? The blue-robed young man's eyes were like lightning as he stared at Lu Ming coldly. The Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. I'm Lu Ming from the Tianxian region. I'm also an Emperor Heaven Divine Guard. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Nonsense, Tianxian region? Why would someone from the Tianxian region come here? Do you think I'm an idiot? How dare you pretend to be the Empyrean Sky Divine Guard? You're so bold. Are you a spy sent by the Sky Corps sect? If you tell me the truth, I can spare your dog life. The blue-robed youth berated. It's fine if you don't want to tell me. Get out of my way, I'm in a hurry. Lu Ming waved his hands and strode forward. Buzz! The blue-robed young man made his move. The sharp sword light was like a fairy from the heavens, and it was aimed at Lu Ming's throat. Fast, accurate, and ruthless. The blue-robed young man cultivated the metal concept and had reached the early stage of Level 9 Martial King realm. His combat strength was extremely powerful. You're speaking so nicely, do you really think I'm a soft persimmon? Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. A long spear appeared in his hand and he swept it across. As the spear swept out, the entire world trembled. The blue-robed young man's attack was instantly destroyed. Not good, retreat. The blue-robed young man's expression changed drastically and he retreated rapidly. However, he was still one step too slow and was hit by Lu Ming's spear. His body was sent flying like a cannonball and he only managed to stabilize himself after flying 1,000 meters. The blue-robed young man spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. The others' expressions changed drastically, and they looked at Lu Ming in shock. The blue-robed young man was at the Level 9 Martial King realm. Even in Hongqing, where geniuses were aplenty, he was considered a top-tier genius. However, he was sent flying by Lu Ming's spear and spat out blood. This young man who had suddenly appeared was so powerful that it shocked them. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. More than a dozen figures flew over, and in the next moment, more than a dozen beautiful women appeared in the field. That's right, those who had just arrived were all young women in their 20s. They had graceful figures and were beautiful. In particular, there was a woman in a white dress in front of them. She looked to be in her early 20s, and her skin was as smooth as jade. She was extremely beautiful. Her white dress fluttered in the wind, like a fairy from the 9 heavens descending to the mortal world. Hee, Qin Qingfei, it seems like you've hit an iron wall? The lady in the white dress swept her gaze across the room and stopped at Lu Ming for a moment. Then she looked at the blue-robed young man and said with a smile, Flying Snow, you're too late. The treasures of the puppet sect have all been taken by this brat. The blue-robed young man, Qin Qingfei, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and snorted. Oh! Fei Shui looked at Lu Ming, deep in thought. The treasure of the puppet sect is no small matter. Fei Shui, don't you plan to take it? Qin Qingfei rolled his eyes and asked Fei Shui. He was planning to incite Flying Snow to attack Lu Ming. Fei Shui smiled and said, there are countless treasures in the world. To get them, one needs luck and strength. Since this young hero got them first, it means that my luck is not here yet. Why should I force it? How could Fei Shui not know what Qin Qingfei was thinking? How could he fall into Qin Qingfei's trap? Seeing that Fei Shui didn't fall into his trap, Qin Qingfei was very disappointed and his face darkened. Brat, I don't care which force you're from. You'll remember this for hurting me. Qin Qingfei looked at Lu Ming again and left a cold sentence before turning to leave. The young men followed behind him. Lu Ming smiled and did not mind. He had already shown mercy just now. If the other party still did not know what was good for him, then he could not be blamed. Young hero, how may I address you? Fei Shui walked towards Lu Ming and cupped her fists. I'm Lu Ming. Miss, may I ask which region this is? Lu Ming asked again. What? Fei Shui and the other young women were also stunned. Fei Shui looked at Lu Ming suspiciously and asked, This is the Hong domain. Young hero, are you from another domain? The Grand Domain. Lu Ming's expression was a little ugly. After joining the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, Lu Ming had naturally studied the geographical distribution of the Divine Wilderness continent. Naturally, he knew about the Hong domain. The Grand Domain was 16 large domains away from the Tianxian domain. It was unknown how many tens of thousands of miles away they were. How were they supposed to return? To tell you the truth, I'm from the Tianxian region and I'm also an Empyrean Heaven Divine Guard. I accidentally entered an ancient ruin and ended up here. Lu Ming came up with a random reason. If he said that he had entered another world and then came here, most people would not believe him. You're from the Tianxian region, and you're also an Empyrean Heaven Divine Guard. Fei Shui and the others looked at each other in disbelief. Chapter 583. 583 Interprovince Transportation Formation. That's right, this is my Divine Guard's token, you can take a look. Lu Ming passed his Divine Guard token to Flying Snow. When he first arrived, Lu Ming was in urgent need of help. Furthermore, Fei Shui and the rest did not seem like Qin Qingfei. They seemed easy to get along with. Hence, Lu Ming had the intention to befriend them. Fei Shui took the token and looked at it. She was surprised. You really are the Ditian Divine Guard from the Tianxian region. Even though Fei Shui was extremely surprised, the information recorded in the Divine Guard token was irrefutable. The token of the Divine Guard was made in a special way, and it was extremely difficult for outsiders to imitate. The other women were also extremely surprised. They didn't expect that the Ditian Divine Guards of the Tianxian region would appear here. They're actually Ditian Divine Guards from another region. I've never seen anyone from another region in my entire life. Is the Tianxian region fun? Was it the same as the Great Domain? He looks similar to us and he's quite handsome. Hee hee, are you infatuated again? You can't move when you see a beautiful man? More than 10 young and beautiful women surrounded Lu Ming and chattered. More than 10 pairs of beautiful eyes surrounded Lu Ming and sized him up as if they were looking at a rare animal. Lu Ming was a little speechless. He smiled bitterly and touched his nose. All right, don't look at Brother Lu like that. We're all girls. Don't be afraid of Brother Lu making fun of us. Fei Shui said awkwardly. The girls then backed away, but their beautiful eyes were still darting around Lu Ming. Brother Lu, since we're here by chance, why don't we head to Hong City and take a look? Fei Shui looked at Lu Ming, her beautiful eyes filled with curiosity. Of course, she knew about the Tianxian region. It was a small region that was far inferior to the Great Domain. However, it was obvious that Qin Qingfei had suffered a great loss at the hands of Lu Ming. A person who came from the Tianxian region could easily defeat Qin Qingfei. He was definitely not an ordinary person. It was very likely that he was one of the top geniuses in the Tianxian region. She also wanted to make friends with him. After all, one more friend meant one more path. Miss Flying Snow, may I know where the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace branch in the Hong domain is? I have something important to do and need to rush back to the Tianxian region. I need to use the Inter-Province Transportation Formation. Lu Ming asked. The Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace had an inter-domain teleportation array in every subpalace of a large region. The Profound Sky subpalace also had one, and it was located in the Profound Sky City. After all, each region was too vast. If they flew alone, it would take a long time. It was much more convenient with the teleportation formation. Brother Lu wants to use the inter-province transportation array. It just so happens that Hong City is a branch palace of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace in the Hong domain. The inter-province transportation array is located in Hong City and it's 3 days' journey from here to Hong City. Brother Lu just so happens to be going to Hong City with us. I'll help you arrange the matter of the inter-province transportation array. Fei Shui said. Then, thank you very much, Lady Flying Snow. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He cupped his fists to express his gratitude. However, Brother Lu just injured Qin Qingfei. This person is narrow-minded and definitely won't let this matter rest. It's best not to bump into him on this trip. Otherwise, I'm afraid it will cause trouble for nothing. Fei Shui reminded. Following that, Lu Ming followed Flying Snow and the rest and flew towards Hong City. 3 days later, they arrived at Hong City. Hong City was where the branch palace of Hong Domain was located. It was a grand and magnificent place. He saw 8 huge mountains piercing through the clouds like divine swords. The 8 peaks were in 8 different locations, separated by thousands of miles. And the vast territory in the middle of the 8 peaks was Hong City. Some of the city walls around Great City were directly made of 8 mountains. The city walls were only cultivated in the areas between the mountains. It was huge. This was the largest city Lu Ming had ever seen. It was like a country. One city was one country. Following Fei Shui and the rest, they easily entered Hong City. The spiritual qi of heaven and earth is so dense. Moreover, the will of heaven and earth is also extremely strong. Lu Ming was a little surprised when he entered Great City. Brother Lu, beneath Great City itself is a Dao Ai. As for the spiritual qi of the heavens and earth, it's because the almighties of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace used those 8 mountain peaks as the foundation of the formation and set up a huge spirit gathering formation. That's why the spiritual qi is so dense. Fei Shui introduced. Lu Ming was amazed. The mighty people of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace were really generous. They had actually used 8 mountains as the base of the formation to set up a spirit-gathering formation. How huge was this inscription formation? In Grand City, the density and intensity of the spiritual energy and essence realm of heaven and earth were not as high as in Tianxian City. However, Tianxian City was too small. Its area was only 1,000th of Hong City's. The streets of Hong City were bustling with people and all kinds of shops were available. Brother Lu, why don't you stay at this inn for the night? I'll go and arrange for the inter-province transportation formation. After walking around for a while, Fei Shui said to Lu Ming. All right, I'll have to trouble Lady Flying Snow. Lu Ming nodded. Inter-province transportation formations were very important and had strict rules. One's identity had to be thoroughly investigated. Usually, people outside the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace were not allowed to use it. The inter-province transportation formation was the lifeline of a force. During a great war, it could quickly gather high-level warriors. Otherwise, it would be too late to fly. Therefore, one had to make a reservation in advance. It was impossible for one to use it whenever one wanted to. Lu Ming was also clear about this. All right then. Brother Lu, keep this jade voice transmission talisman. If you need anything, you can find me at any time. I'll give you a day at most. Brother Lu should be able to set off tomorrow. Fei Shui passed a voice transmission jade talisman to Lu Ming, who accepted it and kept it. Following that, Fei Shui and the rest left first. Lu Ming had rented a room at an inn nearby. Then he started to stroll around Hong City alone. Since he had come to the Great Domain by chance, it would be good for him to take a stroll and broaden his horizons. There were indeed many strange things in Great City that he had never seen in Tianxian region. Lu Ming's eyes were dazzled and he bought some strange materials. Of course, Lu Ming did not have many spiritual crystals left. The ones he bought were cheap. Go get some spiritual crystals. Otherwise, you won't even have the money to take the inter-province transportation formation. Previously, he had used up all his spirit stones to break through to the next realm. Now, Lu Ming only had tens of thousands of top-grade spirit crystals. After asking around for the location of the market, Lu Ming walked towards it. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the city square of Great City. He found a shop called the Myriad Pavilion and entered it. Lu Ming sold some of the unused spirit weapons, refining materials, and some martial arts techniques below the heaven level. He obtained about 800,000 top-grade spirit crystals. 800,000 supreme spiritual crystals should be enough to pay for the inter-province transportation formation. He wandered around for a while more before he returned to the inn. The night passed uneventfully. At noon the next day, Fei Shui came to look for Lu Ming. "Brother Lu, I've already reserved the quota for the inter-province transportation formation for you. You can set off immediately." Fei Shui smiled. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It seemed that Fei Shui was quite influential in the Great Domain Branch Palace since she was able to book a spot in the inter-province transportation formation so quickly. "Thank you, Auntie Flying Snow. If there's anything that I can help with in the future, I'll definitely not decline." Lu Ming expressed his thanks. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.